that long, then that would actually be kind of dope.
That would be cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking interview this fool.
Yeah.
I could definitely chop up a few videos with that. Yeah. So you're the first dude. Like I'm usually, and speaking to that, we were just talking about whether or not I have like a rigid outline for these things. You're the first one. I was just like, we'll just wing it because I know you and me could talk. Like we've already been talking forever, right?
I know. I was thinking that too. Like this would probably be good on the show. Yeah.
That's a weird thing about doing a podcast is you end up hanging with your friends. And I'll either like we'll be driving here or like we'll be setting up, and I always have that in my head like we should not be talking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Save it off for
yeah. Out of everyone I've had, I've known you the longest, like for sure. I remember the first time I met you. It was in Long Beach. I don't
Blue
remember.
Cafe? Was it
It
Blue
was
Cafe?
Blue Cafe.
Yeah.
There was a few of us. I remember that was maybe like my fourth show or some shit, and I played. And then I went to the restroom, and I remember it was like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah,
it was kind of late.
Yeah, not too many people there.
Yeah, not too many. Yeah. And then I was just like, usually I would stick around, but I was like, man, I gotta wake up early. Like one of those, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna be out. So I go to the restroom, and I come back, and all of a sudden, like there was a big crowd, and I'm like, there's hella energy on the stage. And I just remember these three guys were fucking killing it on some like jump around Far Side shit, finish each other's sentences and all that. And that was the process. That was you and the homies. And I was like, yo, so I stayed and got something to drink and then ended up being a long night. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm not sure if I talked to you guys after.
I think so. Because I think I remember seeing your set and thinking that your shit was really dope too.
Oh, tight.
Like different, like a unique type of, especially at that time.
Yeah.
Shit was weird then. You know, there was
weird
like LA underground.
Yeah.
And everyone was kind of on the same vibe. And I feel like we were different. And so when I saw you, I felt like it was refreshing because you were different too.
Oh, dope, man. Yeah. And that's what's weird is like, which isn't to suggest I know it all, the sound or aesthetic I'm going for now, but like back then, if you asked me, I had no fucking idea.
Same.
You know what I mean? It was just like, I listened to Atmosphere, you know, like shit.
It's crazy because I feel like a lot of artists, especially in the beginning, you just like to hear yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's little things that I would check for. Like I've always been a big timing guy.
Yeah.
But if those things were in line at the time, I was like, yo, this is a hit, you know?
Right.
And I listen back now and I'm just like, the mix is terrible. The delivery is terrible, you know? But at the time, like the shit that makes me cringe the most is I remember being in everyone's inbox.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, check out my new song. And I listen and I'm like, I was spamming motherfuckers with this bullshit. Yeah. Like, I can't believe like I was, you know, like, so, and nowadays it's a little bit more common knowledge to not be in people's inboxes.
Right.
But in the beginning, we were all new to social media. You know? So we were kind of
we're all navigating still, learning how to do it. Yeah. And young and fucking hungry and all that shit.
Yeah, it's weird. A weird place. Because we were like right in the beginning of the internet, but it wasn't a tool yet. You know what I mean? It was there, but people that were on it, like it was more of a nuisance of you showing them your music than it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and now I think it's a little bit, there's guidelines and shit that you have to follow.
Yeah.
But people that are on, especially now for people like us, that are on our social media that know that we're artists, it's like that's kind of what they're there for now.
Right. Yeah, it'll trip me out, even like my wife or whatever, just because everyone I hang out with, they're all either mostly musicians or photographers, you know what I mean? Creative artists, people, artists. And then I'll be seeing my wife and I'm like, wait, so you follow like no other musicians? Like, who are all these people? They're just coworkers? The fuck? You know what I mean? It's a weird thing. You forget.
Like different people have their what they want to see in their feed.
Yeah. It's you forget. You spend enough time in this scene or whatever you want to call it. You forget that there are like people who don't do things.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah. Because it really
strange.
is so. Like we probably have hundreds of mutual friends. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just because that's what over the last decade, that's what we've been doing. Yeah. Those are the people we've been meeting, interacting with and stuff.
Yeah. It's cool. Honestly, like it's dope. And on like full disclosure, like you said in the beginning, you would be up in people's inboxes or whatever. What I used to do, I think it was it Facebook? I think it was Facebook. So I used to go and see like if we had more than 100 mutual friends, and I didn't know you like in life, like if you're just like you, for example, you know, if you had like more than 100, 150 mutual friends, I would just add whoever was, you know what I mean, the mutual friends. And just kind of like amass this huge friend. Because remember, it was like you had to be friends. Like it was a mutual thing on Facebook. It wasn't like I follow you, but you don't necessarily follow me. You know what I mean?
How Instagram is.
Yeah. So I remember catching shit from certain people like, yo, that's mad thirsty or whatever. And it probably was. But like in doing that, I've made so many fucking connections. Even Tommy Black, like the one we were just talking about, he's recorded my band's album or whatever. I had no idea who that dude was. You know what I mean? Until like, oh, you have hella mutual friends. Let's connect. And then maybe we may have been each other's friend for a year or two and no interaction. And then I think he was doing a podcast. So then, you know, how things work. Yeah. And so now we're like friends. I shot that fool's wedding and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I think that's kind of what you do it for. You see people as potential. You see somebody and you're like, I like their art, and maybe someday our art will cross paths.
Right.
And if not, at the very least, I'm interested to see what they're going to be up to.
Sure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Because I have those same people where, you know, for a long time, and then all of a sudden it could be a producer that's just like, yo, who needs a beat?
Yeah.
And I could be like, yo, I've been wanting to work with you. Yo, I've been wanting to work with you too. And then it's on from that point.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is weird. Like for people, some people, like I said, they look down on that or whatever. And it's really no different from like going to a function that you know there's going to be like a industry function or whatever,
or something like that.
Network exactly. There's no difference in that, but it's just like because it's right there in the open. You know what I mean? Like that's what social networking is.
Yeah,
you know
I always felt the same way when people would like frown upon online dating.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's the same shit. It's like you're just meeting somebody a different way. Like,
right.
I didn't meet him at the store. I met him here, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't personally done too much online dating. Right. But when I hear people talk about it, I'm like, what's the difference? It's just about meeting somebody.
Right.
You know, if you're compatible, you're compatible. It doesn't matter where.
Yeah. And it would, sometimes I've even talked about that with my wife. I wouldn't say I feel like I'm missing it because I've been with the same girl for a long time, right? I wouldn't say I feel like I'm missing out. It's more just like, wow, there's this whole world that's happening right here.
Yeah.
Like my best friends are just on Tinder or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm just like, I have no idea how to even fucking navigate this world that everyone's on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out, but I do feel I'm a curious person.
Yeah, it's different.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Same for me, because I've always been in relationships.
Sure.
I haven't been one to really be out there doing, you know, I never used Tinder. I fucked around on Plenty of Fish. Let's see, that was 2011.
Okay.
Met a couple people, never actually met up with them.
Yeah.
And then got a girlfriend, like someone I knew for 5 years. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right. Yeah. I don't know, bro. If again, having been with the same chick for so long, her and I even talk about it, like I can't imagine dating. I could sleep with a bunch of people, you know what I mean? But like, fuck, I gotta like, where'd you go to school? Do you have any brothers? What do your parents do? Fuck. But then I'd podcast and I ask artists the same thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, that shit sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it does.
And then it's like, oh, it might not work out. Well, start over.
I know. I've never really done that either. My last few relationships were with people that I had already known before.
Sure,
we had a romantic, you know, so it was kind of easy to.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was easy.
Kind of skip all the small shit.
Yeah, it really was. It was like, oh, I already know that I fuck with you. You know, especially my girlfriend now.
Yeah.
It's like we had been cool. You know, we've been together now, I think 3 years, going on 3 years. And before that, we had known each other for like 6 or 7.
Okay.
And we had always really fucked with each other, but never anything like that. You know? Like it really wasn't. It was super crazy when it happened, you know, I had always thought, you know, she's this awesome person and likewise. And so, you know, when the opportunity presented itself, it was just like, oh, this is easy. You know what I mean? Like this is just like seamless, you know, there was no like nervousness or uncertainty or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, in that way, I could see how that might be fun.
Smooth,
to be honest.
It was. You skipped all that shit. You know?
Like, for sure. And you have mutual friends. You could like remember this guy, like doing that whole thing.
It is too. It is. We have, you know, all my friends know her and like her, and vice versa. Especially because we were kind of from the same circle. So like, a lot of our friends, we were already friends with them. It's just we're closer now. You know, like her close friends, I was already friends with them before. But now they're like my close friends too because you know.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, that is cool, man. That's cool. How that happens.
Yeah. So I'm with you on the dating. I don't know what that's like. I don't want to find out.
Nah, bro. I tell my wife straight up, like, yo, if we ever get divorced, I'm fucking everyone, but I'm dating nobody. Yeah, meet my mom. What the fuck? Yeah.
I know, and like what? See, like that's another thing I've never had to deal with. Like, should I introduce this person to my mom? You know, it's always been like, I've been dating this person for a long fucking time, so obviously I should. You know,
sure.
I've never introduced somebody to my mom that I wasn't fucking with a month later. You know what I mean? I had to go through that.
Yeah, I got you.
Because that would kind of suck.
Right. Yeah. Fucking A.
Like, who's that girl you brought? I did have one. I was dating a girl. It was crazy because it was like the only girl. It was in between because, like I said, I've been in long relationships. You know, like 6 years.
Yeah.
And now I've been in this one for 3 years. And in between the first and the second, I was dating a girl. And it was the first and only time that I was dating somebody who wanted to be with me, the rapper. And I could kind of tell that she wasn't that interested in me as a person.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean? She was a fan of the music.
Okay.
And liked that. Yeah. But I could tell just wasn't really feeling me on the relationship tip, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, it was weird because it was like, it sucked because I liked her, but it was kind of dope that I was like, my music is good enough for this girl that doesn't like me to kind of like me, you know?
Absolutely,
like, so it's like,
that's how I know you're an artist. Like, damn, she doesn't really like me,
but she
likes the me that I like. So shit, we got that in common.
It wasn't a total loss.
I prefer that version of me myself.
Yeah, you're
right.
Know what I'm saying? I created that. Like, this is me. I can't help this, but this one I created, I did a good job.
I'm running from this guy.
It's working. So that was my last time dating was that, and it was pretty weird, man.
Yeah.
She had a shirt with my picture on it and shit. That was kind of weird because we went to a party with all my friends. Yeah. And she had the shirt with my picture on it, and we had been talking for like a month. Oh. Like, it was weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird, you know? And then she was kind of weird. And I remember going on a double date, and the person I went on the double date with, his girlfriend was like kind of bougie. Okay. And this girl that I was talking to, she was kind of stupid. You know what I mean? Like, she was kind of dumb. Okay. And I remember like not realizing that as much until we were on the date, and it was kind of going shitty. Yeah. And I could tell that his girlfriend, who was kind of like a stuck up snobby girl, was not feeling the girl that I brought. Yeah, it was not. It was just kind of like, why are we here right now? You know, like this isn't working. Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. I'm glad that I don't have to do stuff like that.
Deal with that over and over. Yeah, bro. Fuck all that. Dude. Yeah. That's something weird. Like, girls tend, and maybe it's just the girls I know and hang out with, but girls don't like each other.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy because society tells us, men are macho, men fight with each other, whatever. Like, yo, these bitches out here super salty toward one another for no reason. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I've never, and then on the flip side, like, I've never really met, like, any of the girls I've been with, I've never really met one of their guys' friends that I didn't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you get along any boyfriend that, you know, any double date situation. It's like, dudes are just like, I know what this is. You know,
for sure.
You got to be here. I got to be here. Yeah. Like, let's make the best of this.
Drink.
Yeah. It's crazy. Because, girls don't. They don't. I don't know if it's if they're threatened or.
I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. There's insecurity sounds bad. Threatened sounds better. Yeah, you know what I mean? Insecurity sounds like I'm
attacking.
Yeah, exactly that. It's not
You're
that.
Not all women.
Yeah, right. Like, I got my insecurities too.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is not in that area.
Right. Yeah. But you're a generally likable dude anyway yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you tend to get along with everyone. And you've kind of always been that way as long as I've known you.
Yeah, just kind of easygoing. That's the easiest way. Easiest for me too. Right. You know, not be too hung up on stuff.
What how I describe you to the few people like I have described you to is like, you're one of the few people I know who you're the sweetest. You're like a big sweetheart who will definitely fight you. You know what I'm saying?
If I have to, you know, I don't want to. Yeah. Right, to be honest, man, I haven't been in a fucking fight in like, I don't even know. Like, it's funny too, because even the fights that I got in were with my homies. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've never like fucked somebody up.
Sure.
Me and my boys got into it, and even still, like when you fight your homies, it's different than fight. If you're fighting some stranger, like I might kick him in the head. I'm not gonna kick the homie in the head.
That's
there's
true.
a limit to it.
That's very true.
But
yeah,
I like to think that if I had to, I would. Right. But luckily, I haven't had to. So.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about that earlier. That's something we were talking about. How so for people listening, I have my dog here. I think we already talked about that. Well, but you were saying, we were talking about how a dog you had at one point. You still have that dog? The pit? Or that's your mom's pit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then one thing that dog has in common with mine is they're like obviously mistreated. So like they were real sketch around us or whatever. And that kind of blossomed into, dude, fuck people who hurt animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, I think you said, I sometimes fantasize.
Daydream about
I daydream about, man, like what would I do if I saw someone just kicking the shit out of a dog? Like you gotta do something. Yeah.
I think I might go crazier on somebody hitting a dog than hitting a woman. As fucked up as that sounds.
Yeah, nah.
I feel like a woman there's more like I needed no more.
She could have said, said some shit.
She could have did some shit. The dog didn't do nothing. I know that already. The most he could have done is like pissed on the carpet or some shit.
Right.
So
yeah, but
I don't know. I don't think I need to compare. I don't think I need to. I don't know why I said that. I don't think it needed to be said, but I said it.
Yeah,
I said it,
and I stand by it.
Stand by it.
Yeah. No, I understand that. That's so funny, dude. That's so. I think that probably speaks again to like the women I have in my life. I married the only one that isn't fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this bitch has all her shit together.
Yeah.
I better keep her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with everyone else, whew, and it's like I have that in me where it's like if I hear, this is a crazy statement, but if I hear that a dude punched a chick, and this has happened, this has come up before, I'm like, damn, I wonder what she said.
Yeah,
to him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or what does she do?
Yeah.
Because I know in a lot of chicks, like they'll chase dudes around the kitchen with a knife.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he puts her in a headlock and his ass goes to jail.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure,
and then
definitely.
society's like, don't beat women. Like for sure, don't beat women.
Yeah.
But like also don't let yourself get
Yeah,
stabbed.
I've thought that too. I've always thought like there's a difference between beating someone and fighting with someone. You know what I mean? Like,
straight up.
If you're beating somebody,
Yeah.
versus like somebody's attacking you,
Right.
and you're trying not to be attacked, like those are two different things.
That's that's a really good point. There's a difference between fighting and beating,
and still like my golden rule I've always said is these are the two ways that I'll hit a girl. If she has a weapon, or if girls are jumping my girlfriend. Because if girls are jumping my girlfriend, I'm
done.
They're all getting knocked out.
I completely agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I completely agree.
I gotta protect her from anything.
Absolutely.
Animal, man, whatever the fuck it is.
No, absolutely.
And then, if a girl has a knife or a fucking gun or some shit like
right. You better shoot. Done. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I've been worried about that before.
Yeah.
And my girl's not a mouthy, she's not mouthy at all. She's like avoids conflict at all costs, but she's also kind of vulnerable. You know what I mean? So I can just imagine like my worst nightmare is like being in anywhere and like a bunch of chicks are ganging up on her and I'm just like, oh, fuck, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. You have to though.
It goes
absolutely. Out, it's different. It's a different standard at that point.
What's tricky about that too is I've come close to like it's weirder when it's your kid. Cause like if my kid's 12, but even when he was like 8 or whatever, if a bunch of 8-year-olds are fucking my kid up, I can't promise I'm not gonna kick them in the head.
I think I might enjoy that a little more. Like women, I'll feel more remorse.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a bunch of little 8-year-old boys, like
I'm doing you a favor long term. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm giving you the building blocks for life.
I'm punching the 8-year-olds watching too. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're not participating, like if you're in the area and you're also 8, you're getting punched.
Yeah. I've definitely been guilty of been like, yo, where's your dad at, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just assuming I'm bigger than this dude's dad.
Hoping.
You know what I mean? Fucking Mike Tyson walks out, I'm like, oh shit.
Hey, my bad.
My
bad, Mike.
Yeah, my kid's a bitch, bro. He deserved it. He deserved every bit of it.
I've definitely wondered. I was actually just talking to my girl about this a couple weeks ago. How many 10-year-olds could you beat up? I think we were somewhere and I just saw this little pack of kids and I was high and I was just kidding and I was just like, oh, fuck those kids up, you know?
Yeah.
And then it made me really think like how many 10-year-olds would it take I think that we were watching like girls basketball.
Okay.
And I asked her, I was like, I wonder how many of these girls it would take to beat me up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious of that number.
Right.
Like 20, 25?
Oof. I don't know. Okay, are we doing 10-year-olds or girls basketball? Because they're athletes. You know what I mean? So already
a couple more
they
points.
got a little edge. Yeah. You know what I mean? But 10-year-olds?
10's pretty weak. You know, you start getting to 12, 13, there's a little muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like at the time, I think I told her, I was like, I think it's unlimited.
Right.
I think it's just, I think I'm going to fall asleep before I get beat up. You know, I'll be tired.
Yeah, just every 10-year-old. Yeah.
I challenge all 10-year-olds. If there are any 10-year-olds listening, posse up.
Right.
Come on, you know.
Yeah, we should fight back to back.
That'd be dope.
If we do back to back, let's sneak in. All right, it have to be 10 to 11.
Yeah.
11-year-olds?
11
You and me can take 10 and 11s.
Yeah. How many? 20 each?
Yeah.
Little 40 pack?
Yeah, right. Just to keep it all rounded.
Like an English class? Like, we get a whole classroom full of kids.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we could do some damage.
But then it's nuanced, right? Because it's like, how many of those motherfuckers are Samoans? Because Samoan 10-year-olds are like the size of me. Yeah, you know what I mean? And they grow up getting their asses kicked so they can take a punch to the face.
I played basketball at this local park, and there was just like, I think he was like 11, Samoan kid. And he was pretty big. Like, he wasn't huge. Yeah. But he was fucking strong, dude. Yeah, bro. And he was good. Yeah. And he would come play with us, and he would get, you know, moves on some of the adults, and it wasn't even a situation where you're like, oh, a little kid, because it's like everyone kind of knew, like, nah, it's what's dope, you know, like it doesn't matter that he's how old he is, like he could ball, and he was just strong, man. I don't know what it is. The island, it has to be coconuts,
it's something, bro. Yeah,
coconut water.
Yeah, bro. There's some. Everyone knows that. Yeah, so Samoan people are tough.
Yeah, people think I'm Samoan a lot.
I was gonna ask. Yeah,
I get Samoan. I get.
You're like me, where no one really knows what it is. You know,
I was actually how we were talking about my album earlier. I was thinking of calling it ambiguous for a couple of reasons. I feel like musically, stylistically, I don't really have a style, so that kind of fits there. Yeah. But even like racially, like I've always been that since I was a kid. Just you know, it's weird to look like a bunch of things that you're not, right? And also to not look like what you are. You know, it's like it's weird. It's confusing. That's a good point. It's too. It's weird. It's a very weird thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, because you kind of are too. Yeah. You have that too.
Well, like when I tell people I'm half white, they're like, oh yeah, I can see the white. You know what I mean? They don't necessarily, they don't. That's a good point. Actually,
I know, that's kind of a weird thing to say because like see the white, like, I mean.
Do you get that?
You're brown.
What
brown,
are you? What, are you half black, half white?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, I'm half white and half Pacific Islander. Yeah. So yeah.
And I think for most, I think I would probably just, if I had to guess, I'd be like, oh, yeah, the Mexican dude.
Yeah, you know, that's what I get all the time. In New York, I'm Puerto Rican. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a weird thing. But yeah,
I get Indian. So I was working at a place we put fences around pools. I'm like 19 or 20. Yeah. And we're out there working, and we're at an nice big Indian family's house. Yeah. Wait, the house is nice, not the big Indian family.
So it's a big Indian.
The family wasn't that big. Their house was big. It was nice. And we're working, and I think the dad or the mom, one of the they're all adults. I'm 19, but one of the older people in the house come out and they're like, "Oh, you want some water? Come in." So they bring me in, they give me water, and they're like, how long have you been working here? Like, where do you live? What city do you live in? I'm answering all these questions. Like, okay, cool, just small talk. And then they're like, so where are you from? What's your ethnicity?
Oh, they thought you was one of them.
They're trying to hook me up with their daughter, dude.
Oh shit! Yeah. Did you see her?
I did, and she was cute. I should have lied.
I was gonna say, bro.
I could have got out of work.
Yeah, fucking A.
But as soon as I told them, they're like, all right, back to work. Yeah. Get out of our house, you know.
Oh, he's just black.
It was worse. They're like, black, get out. Hurry up. Yeah. So
crazy.
Yeah. So I've gotten that deep. I'm that deep in undercover to where actual Indians are like, this motherfucker got to be Indian.
Right.
You know? And it's not at all.
You are fooling Indians, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's that. So yeah, not Indian.
Do you ever get black? Like, do people say he's right?
And I feel like when I tell people, they're like, I can see it. I'm like, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you fucking liar. Now you say that, you know, like you did not.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that once I tell people they could see it. I'm just saying before I tell people, I know that that wasn't the thought.
I got you.
You know, I don't have like the main thing I remember growing up and wishing I had the hair. I wish I had my dad's hair.
Oh,
okay. I wanted an afro as a kid, you know, and I got like a weird mix of my mom and dad's hair.
Sure.
Because my mom's hair is straighter than mine.
Yeah.
My dad's hair is a lot curlier.
Okay.
But I remember that being like one of the things when I was younger, feeling like this is why people don't know that I'm mixed, because I don't have the hair. And if I had that hair, it would be more apparent. Now, I mean, at this point, I don't give a fuck anymore. You know, you have more of identity crisis as a kid. Now I'm just kind of like, I'm a weird fucking thing.
Sure, it is what it is. Absolutely, man. Yeah. You know who Nerve is? Nerve is a photographer, videographer, a little Asian dude, tattoos all over his face.
I don't think so.
It's all good. He was on this couple episodes back, and he's all mixed up too, but he at least looks Asian, right? But he's fucking everything. And we're talking about how growing up not really belonging somewhere has served, I speak for myself, it served me well in adulthood, because it's like, whereas before I used to think I don't belong anywhere, and now I feel like I can fucking belong anywhere I want to belong. Same. You know what I mean? I could just fit in wherever. You know what I'm saying?
It is a weird feeling. You know who I used to really get that? Who used to really make me feel like that was like Asian communities. Okay. I would see like the camaraderie. Yeah, and I was just like, man, I wonder what that's like. You know, because I don't. It's different when you're split up like that. Sure. You know? It's like neither side will necessarily claim you. You know? Like if you're like, no, I'm white, and it's like, yeah, but you're black too. It's like, oh, I'm black now, but you're white too. You know, it's like it's a weird limbo. Yeah. But as an adult, I think you just kind of like
roll with it.
Yeah, it's cool. It just turns into something.
Kind of using it to my advantage. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially I got all the Polynesian tattoos like on one side, so when I'm tank topping it, you know what I mean? People are like, why does SA have fucking the Rock's tattoos and shit? You know what I mean? Yeah, it blows people's minds a little bit. So you're half black and half white. Your mom's white, is right? Okay, cool. See, my dad's white, and so it's cool because it's like the exact opposite. My dad has like super straight white boy hair, and then my mom has the afro. You know what I'm saying? Like that Polynesian afro. What's that? Is that on? The fuck?
I might not be picking up no more. Cause I feel like I hear you. Oh, there it is.
Oh, that was the issue.
Oh, it's up here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What's it? What's it?
My mom has an afro.
Oh yeah. What do you have? I've seen you only bald.
I have probably similar to your hair. It's like curly, it's wavy more than anything. Yeah, I got some waves, not necessarily curls. I've always wanted the curls.
The waves are in right now, man. You gotta let it come in. You get the get the do-rag.
Dog, you know how I am with weed, right? Not good. Right? And I smoked. I was gonna say I smoked too much weed, but really, like, I smoked weed, which is too much.
Any amount is too much.
Any weed is too much for me. And I had let, I don't remember, I was like not working for a week or something. I had let, there's my boy.
What's up, buddy?
I had let my hair grow for like a week and a half or something. And I smoked a little weed with the homies, and I was in my house, and I went to the restroom, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh shit, like look at all the skin between the hair follicles. I had never let my hair grow that long in fucking 10 years. You know what I mean?
So you were shaving it
since I was
just style wise. Yeah. So I know a lot of people, once they start losing it, you shave it. So you were doing it because you wanted the
since I was 14.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
What made you?
I hang out with SAs and shit. You know what I mean?
Just a style.
Yeah, bro. Just I came up with Mexicans. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, you were Orange County.
Yeah, yeah. So I was just in Santa Ana all the time and shit. Right there, you know what I mean? So all my homies had bald heads and shit. So I just kind of fell in line, you know?
You don't even really question it at that point. You're just like, oh, that's what to do.
And I liked it so much because, like, fuck, man, I don't got to comb nothing. I don't got to wash nothing. My hair's never fucked up. I roll right out of bed. I don't got to worry about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just kind of rode that wave to the beach, and here we are. And now I'm just like, but the weird thing, everyone's always like, yo, you should grow your hair out. And I was like, fuck that or whatever. For years, more than half my life. And then that moment when I saw that, oh, now I can't grow hair, I was like, fuck, I kind of want to grow hair. I don't know what that is about my personality. It probably explains a lot.
Yeah, when you can't, you want,
I want everything I can't fucking have, bro. It's crazy.
That's funny. I remember you made me think when you said that the homies made you want to, it was just the style.
Yeah.
I remember I had a buddy, he was actually in the process. Do you remember that fool Contra?
Yeah.
He sold weed. And so whenever I was with him, I was really, really high. And he was like, yo, my boys, I'm going to go get a haircut. Like, you want one?
Yeah.
And like, especially, I never really gave a fuck about my hair. Like, that's why I got dreads. So I don't have to give a fuck about my hair.
Right.
But at this time, I think I just had like a shag top, just some shit. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll get a haircut. It's kind of like, I didn't think I needed one, but if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah.
And so we go and like we were high as fuck, and he cuts my boy's hair, and he's like, all right, what do you want? And I'm just like high as fuck, like, give me what he got, like just not thinking about,
Yeah.
And this fool just gave me the highest fade ever, dude.
Yeah.
And I look like a fucking pineapple, man. And they would just call me Pineapple Fade. And I remember at the end of it thinking like who goes to a spot for their hair and says, just give me what that guy got.
Yeah, like at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have whatever he's eating. Fuck it, I'm not picky. Yeah.
I learned that day though.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might have been my last haircut.
Fuck, how long ago was that what you said?
10 years, maybe.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, that might have been my last haircut.
I mean, I said oh shit as if I've been to the fucking barber since I was 13 years old.
How often do you shave it?
If I want it smooth, I gotta shave every other day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, bro, this probably also speaks about my personality. Ever since I've been shaving, every fucking time I get wicked rash on the back of my neck, and I'm just like, fuck it.
Still go
One of these days it'll go away.
Yeah, and it never does.
Fucking 20 years later, I've had more razor rash than anyone ever, and I'm just like, it'll go away eventually.
You'd have it down at this point.
Yo, I don't. You would think like your skin would get fucking used to it or something.
Yeah.
I can shave in the dark, no mirror. You know what I mean? Just like no problem. But for some reason, my motherfucking skin won't adjust.
Yeah.
So
you need some of that the aftershave that Macaulay Culkin used.
Yeah,
that was
probably
that was it.
Probably that was it. I ain't seen no razor rash on that motherfucker's face.
Nothing. Yeah. To this day.
Yeah. I'm also like mad, like minimal when it comes to shit like that, because people are like, they make things for that, right?
Yeah.
Like shaving cream or whatever. I'm like,
you use no shaving cream?
Nah, I use like conditioner.
Yeah, me too.
I mean? Yeah,
conditioner,
soap,
dude. That's definitely the lazy man shaving cream.
Hell yeah.
I'm definitely in the shower on my face throwing some conditioner on there.
Son, the only reason I have conditioner, have access to conditioner, is because my wife.
Yeah. If not, just be water.
When she leaves me, I'm shaving dry.
Yeah.
Dry. There might be water involved.
I think I've maybe used shaving cream like 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't look like someone that shaves often. Sure. But I used to, and even when I did, I would just dry shave that shit.
Yeah.
But this new beard wave, I love this, man.
Yeah, everyone's
this whole
rocking a
don't
beard.
shave, that's kind of tight.
Yeah. Who started that? Where did that start?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I like it. I have a pretty shitty beard, but like, even nowadays, you could have a shitty beard.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
Yeah. I don't have no side. I can't get this stuff.
So everything on your face, that's what.
It's all natural, baby.
Okay, so you don't shape it or nothing.
No,
wow. So where there's hair, that's where you can grow hair.
Sometimes I'll trim my mustache up a little bit.
Sure.
And then for some reason, the right side of my beard grows faster than the left, so I'll have to come with a little.
Okay.
Yeah, but nah, I don't shave.
Huh.
I do not shave.
That's dope though.
It is.
Yeah, that's no maintenance.
Yeah. That's how I planned it.
That's right.
Since I got the dreadlocks, then the beards came back in. I was like, I'm sad, man. I'm rolling out of bed every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, it's cool. Like if you can't grow hair, at least you don't have like it all over here. You know what I'm saying? Remember that dude from the 90s?
Yeah,
I think there was 2 of them.
Yeah, the brothers. They're like Brazilian or some shit.
I would have never thought of that again in my life. I thought, you know what I mean? But I'm like Ricky Lake or
those fools were like fucking relevant too. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw them more than once. Yeah, they were out there.
I remember it freaked me the fuck out when I was a kid.
It was weird, man.
And then they started speaking Spanish, and this is pre-internet. I was like, what the fuck?
What are these people saying? That's the crazy thing about the internet too, is like everything is so normal now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's hard to determine because we were kids too.
Right.
And shit's just doper when you're a kid anyways.
It is, bro.
So then it gets hard to remember, like, was this that much doper, or are we just fucking grown-ups now?
Yeah.
But I do think if you just think about it, like I do think that shit was different.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of both.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. And I I sound like such an old man all the time with my kid because it's like I try to explain to him how dope, but also how shitty it is that he can just access whatever song he wants at any time.
They'll never understand that.
Nah, you know, and you can't expect them to.
Because it was like you go to Blockbuster, right? Friday night, and you're in that bitch for 2 hours.
How you just said Friday night, that alone. It sounds like a small detail, but that's the whole point. It was a ritual. It was a thing.
You couldn't do it every night. It wasn't accessible every night, which made it. You search for 2 hours. You pick the perfect movie. You watch that shit at least 3 times.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Before you gotta take it back,
worth,
you got at least 3 times.
Yeah,
I watched Fast and the Furious when that shit came out. I watched that shit 5 times.
Yeah,
in the 24 hours. You know how long is that shit? That's 10 of the 24 hours I had, and I was watching this shit. You know.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's different. You know, video games. Everything was special. You know, shit was expensive and it wasn't accessible, and so
it makes it special.
It does. And I'm not saying that I'd rather have that because it's pretty fucking dope to like. I'll go watch some shit that's in the movie theaters right now at home.
Yeah,
and that's pretty fucking tight too.
But see, the only reason you know it's dope is because you know what it's like to do without that, and so it's like in a weird way. I wouldn't trade either. I prefer this, but I wish my son,
felt that.
Just if anything, just because he would appreciate this now. But like you could say that for anything.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Even like from our parents to us, of like, well, I didn't even get to watch movies at home. You know, like you go to the fucking theater. We didn't have VCRs and shit.
Yeah. It everything it increases. It just gets faster and faster and more and more and more.
Yeah, but I do feel like our time was one of the most special times. And I do
agree.
I feel like even some older people would agree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people might say that about their childhood time. But I really feel like ours was like we played outside and had video games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We're the I do know what you mean. Yeah,
it was
I've definitely
like we
talked
really
about that
got
before.
Both. We teetered like
we're the last ones. Man. We're the last ones to know a world without the internet, what it is now.
Yeah,
but we did have a little bit of internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You could download some porn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've been an internet kid forever because my dad had a computer for work, you know, and so some people didn't, you know, because really that's all computers were for back in the day.
Work.
It wasn't really super leisurely, or social.
Sure,
you know, it was like I need this for my work, and so I was on that. I was telling my girl the other day I had a crazy thing. I think I was probably like 12. And I had some girl, like a grown-ass woman, like stripping naked for me online.
Oh, shit.
You know, and I was lying, telling her like I was older and shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what a like crazy, now as an adult, I'm like, how crazy for that lady? Like, I kind of violated her. Like, I kind of like tricked her into like child...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know, like,
that's true.
When I look back, like, I was the sketchy one. I mean, she was doing what she was doing, but...
Yeah.
But that's a crazy thing to think of. Like we had so much. It wasn't what it is now, and so stuff like that was easier to do. Right. You know,
that's very true.
Nowadays, you got to watch out for that shit. You know, motherfuckers are like
definitely, man. Yeah, it blows my mind. This is a crazy statement as well. It blows my mind how many dicks my child probably sees in a 24-hour period just for like scrolling the internet and is like on TikTok or whatever the fuck they use. You know what I mean? It's just happen. Like, oh, that person's dancing. That person's dancing. There's a dog. Oh, there's a dick. More dancing. It's just like no problem.
What you do, folks? He's looking at
us throwing shit down there.
Man, dicks are at an all-time high right now.
Yeah,
they're out there. They're out there. They're floating around, man.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was Bill Maher or something. But he said, "You remember that shit, chat roulette or something like that?" Yeah.
You go and you can skip.
Yeah, it would just randomly pair you with someone.
And always someone jacking off.
Like, and he was like, almost. Yeah, Bill Maher was like, imagine the people if they came back to life, like old people, fucking Abraham Lincoln or whatever. He'd just be like fascinated with his technology. Like, yo, so what kind of diseases have you cured with this? Like, have you like solved all foreign relations? Like, because clearly communication has never been easier. And he's like, it's mostly just dudes showing their dicks.
Really. And I don't know, and like I don't think there's a big audience for it either. So I don't know who they were.
Yeah.
I feel like the only person that want to see that is another dude jacking off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like any girl could go find a real dick at any time.
I think that all the time, bro.
Yeah, you know? So
it's weird. Most of the chicks, I've talked to a lot of chicks about porn, and even chicks that don't necessarily, it's not even that they're in denial about it. Like they don't identify as like, I'm not really into women. You know what I mean? Like they would never hook up with another chick. It's just not their thing. But when they do watch porn, they tend to watch lesbian porn. I don't know what that is, man.
I wonder,
Yeah.
I feel like it takes a certain kind of woman to like the sight of a dick. You know?
Yeah, and even, God bless them all.
And even then, I feel like the sight of a dick is a symbol. It's not like when you see a pair of titties and you're like, those are some really nice titties. Those are beautiful. They're symmetrical and they're, you know, I don't feel like girls are like, look at that dick. Like the head is a perfect size compared to the shaft. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many dick connoisseurs there are out there. You know, I'm curious of that.
Yeah, like, no, that's a really good point. And I think a lot of men assume that's how they are.
Yeah,
that's why men are like
dick
subconscious about or self-conscious rather about dicks or whatever. You know what I mean? But like I tend to find women who are like, whatever.
It's not to look at. You know, it serves another purpose.
It's a tool.
Whereas for guys, it's like we really like admire a female body and the intricacies of it too, and little things, you know. And so it's like, it's hard. It's funny too, because even when you're thinking about like when you're a kid and you don't know how to talk to girls, and you don't really know what they want, right? And you kind of feel like they want what you want, you know. And so
that's mistake number one.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just like, and I remember being a teenager, seeing like adults and being like, how the fuck did that fool pull this girl? Yeah, like because you're looking at it through the eyes of a dude. That's a girls, good point. That's why I got my confidence up. When I got to be an adult, I was like, I don't have to be good looking. You know, like I don't even have to be good looking. Like,
I just make you laugh and be nice
for
to
real.
You. Yeah.
And it's like your face turns handsome when you could do those things. You know, like
I do know.
It's it's crazy, dude. Yeah, it's a trip. It's like I wish I could go to my younger self and be like, nah, like that ain't it. You know, like the stuff that you're concerned about, like that's not the important stuff. But it's just because we're so fucking, you know,
superficial, shallow, insecure, all the things. Yeah, absolutely. It's weird. I've always thought like, imagine like our species, our fucking planet would have self-destructed centuries ago if women wanted to fuck as much as men want to fuck. Definitely, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It has to keep.
There's definitely the exceptions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely. Yeah. But like you were going to say, like it has to keep balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Otherwise.
Everyone will just be fucking.
but then at the same time, it's also good that we're not more like them, because then the population would probably just die off. Nobody be fucking. Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool. Don't fuck with it. Just leave it the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, just leave it the way it is. I think it's cool. Everything doesn't have to be flat and equal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how it was intended to be.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be a little assertive. We're supposed to be a little standoffish. Sure. And then when you feel the right connection, of course, like me growing up, like I was such a pussy. Like I missed out mad opportunities because I didn't. That's the tough part about being a guy as a kid. Yeah. Is just there's really a balance, because as a girl you don't really have to have a balance, right? You kind of if you want to be fucking all the dudes, like the only people gonna be talking shit about you is other girls, you know. Or if you don't want to fuck a single dude, no one's gonna be saying shit. It's up to you, completely up to you. For dudes, it's like, you know, I had a situation with a girl where my best friend's sister, we all had a sleepover. So his sister's friends were there, I was there, and I was cuddled up with her on the couch. We slept through the night, and the whole time in my head, I'm like, should I do some shit? Like, is this all she wants? This might be all she wants. Right, I think this might be all she wants. You know? Right. And then of course 2 years later, she's like, I never understood why you never made a move on me. And I'm like, you know how hard that shit is?
Yeah, especially when you're young. You know, when you're young.
Because if you didn't want it and I did that shit, I'm gonna feel like a fucking creep.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna feel like a fucking loser. You know? And kissing you or whatever it would have led to, that satisfaction is not enough to cover the fucking guilt and shame that I would have felt.
Yeah,
if
man.
you're like, oh, what the fuck you doing? I just want to cuddle, you know? Like, you don't know, you know?
Yeah, bro. I think especially now, like with all the men in the world who are fucking up royally, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's even harder now, huh?
For sure. But what I mean is like people, it's like there's right now, I don't think there's more men that are fucking up than there ever been. It's just we're more aware of it now. You know what I mean?
It's
but
more
like
broadcasted.
Like with that said, like, yo, give little boys a break, man. It's fucking hard to be a young man. It's fucking hard. Your hormones are fucking all over the place. You know what I mean?
And women's aren't yet too. That's the crazy thing. It's different timing and shit.
Yeah. I think that's probably important too. That's probably for a reason. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Imagine.
The world.
You're young and crazy. Dumb and horny at the same time, and everyone is like, it's over.
That's the greatest trick of all. You know what I mean? It's it's weird, bro. And even like I was talking with my homies in my band and shit, because I have the oldest kid out of all of them, right? And so even when it comes to like schoolwork, like so much is expected of you at such a young age, you know what I mean? Where he's like, the only subjects in school he's like even relatively remotely interested in would be like math, you know what I mean? For some reason. But like he hates history, hates science and all that.
That's kind of how I was too, though. I kind of like science.
Interesting.
I felt like the reason I liked math was because there was a definite that could be figured out.
Sure. I
liked it for that reason. So
I understand that. Maybe he is very analytical. That
problem solver.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like I was telling my homies, it's like, isn't it funny how like now, like, because that's kind of how I was too. Like I was always good at math. I was good at English and shit like that. But like science, fuck out of here with science. Fuck out of here with history. Fuck do I care about the Romans back then. Yeah. Nowadays, don't put me in a math class. You know what I mean? But I'll talk about history. I'll talk about science all day. So it's like weird that you take these little kids that aren't even remotely developed yet, and you're like, you got to learn about the Roman Empire and the fucking Ming Dynasty and shit. The fuck does he care about that? You know what I mean?
Why? Yeah.
It's like, first of all, why? But second of all, maybe if you just waited a while, he'd like find it interesting. And then it would be easier to learn it. You know what I mean?
Even like history, like to an extent, like deep history, like that seems like something that should be an elective to me.
I completely agree.
And then there's other things that maybe could be because like, okay, I think like English is mandatory, math to an extent, because I even think math is pretty crazy, some of the shit that they make you learn.
Straight up.
But like, and I think it's pretty like common. People say stuff like finances would be a good thing to learn, and different life skills that are gonna be essential.
Isn't it funny that cooking's an elective, but you have to learn about fucking World War II?
Like I'm gonna cook, and I'm probably not gonna be talking about World War II at all.
Yeah. That's weird, bro.
It's whoever set it up. I don't know.
It's all just momentum. We haven't had enough people be like, yeah, this is stupid. We should reform that.
I wonder if one day if it's gonna be like, someone's gonna realize, Who knows? Because I've heard people say too, like it's on purpose. You know, you have like in a capitalism driven world, like you want workers. You know, you need workers.
That makes sense.
You need it, and you don't need business owners as much as you need people that'll just go 9 to 5,
punch in and do the things.
So I mean,
that's a good theory. I've definitely heard of that. We want you smart enough to wake up and drive to work, but not so smart that you make your own shit.
We need you.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't doubt it.
In a weird way, like it sounds crazy, but that's probably a good thing too, because they're not wrong. We do need workers.
What would it be without it?
Yeah. It's this whole fuck am I hearing? You hear that?
Is that rain?
Oh, that is rain. Yeah, how do you feel about rain?
I love rain.
You do love rain, don't you?
You know what's funny is I know that you hate it.
How do you know I hate it? Probably because I talk shit about it all the time.
IG. And it's funny because the first thing I think of is like, I fucking love it, dude. I love it. I don't mind. I don't love driving in it. On the way over here was fucking dope because it was raining really hard, but there was like nobody on the freeway. You know, because usually the thing that sucks when it's raining hard is it's a little scary. And dangerous. But I loved it. Driving over here was beautiful because it was
no traffic.
No traffic, and it was fucking raining, and then like you go through a dry spell, and the fucking sky would be blue and the clouds would be fucking parted, and then all of a sudden it's fucking pouring again. Like I love it, man.
I do love right after it's done raining, and like you said, like the clouds part and the sun's coming through and everything's kind of wet and crisp and that I like. That I like.
Me too.
This dude having this dog is like forced me out the house early in the morning because this motherfucker will wait. It's like having a kid all over again, a kid with less pressure. So that's tight. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about what this motherfucker's gonna be when he grows up or no shit like that.
This is him grown up. This is it. He ain't gonna change much.
But like this fool will just bark at me until I take him for a walk. I'm like, all right, cool. But then they'll force me out. I'm still in my pajamas and shit. I'm like, that's a pleasant day.
You know what I mean? Get you doing some shit you never.
It's tight because I'm usually up early, but I'm in my house. You know what I mean?
Chilling.
Chilling. You know,
I know early morning is different. You know, and it's crazy because like as kids we were in it every fucking day. I was someone that walked to school. You know, so I was out the house at 6:45, walking in the morning fucking dew and shit. You know? And then you get out of school and I'm never fucking outside at 7 anymore.
I ain't walking nowhere, son.
You know? So when you get in that you know, I was in a Lake Arrowhead with my girlfriend. And we took my dog. So I took my dog out early. I'm like, man, it's fucking, I need to come out in the morning some more. It's nice out here at this time, you know?
Man. I'm definitely a morning person. It depends how the night goes.
Me too, but it's crazy because I still I go to bed at 6 o'clock. I'm still up by 9.
Damn.
You know, and then I'll nap later.
Right.
But I can't, you know.
See, I'm not a napper. That's the thing. So I'll stay up late, but like late for me. Late for me is like 1, 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless like we're doing some shit, then I'm definitely not above like an all nighter. You know what I'm saying? Like sure, that's cool. But like
on a regular basis,
like between 12 and 1:30. You know what I'm saying? But then I'll still be up by if it's like the weekend or if I don't got shit to do, I'll still be up by like 7. You know what I mean? But
I'm not much of a sleeper.
Yeah, same, dude. Same.
I feel like it's really hard for me to sleep longer than 6 hours.
Yeah, same here.
You know, like I'm not the 8-hour slumber. No, like if I go to bed late, I still won't wake up that late. Yeah. And if I go to bed early, I'm waking up early as fuck. You know, I'm up at 5. If I go to bed at 11 or 12, I'm up at 5.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like I can't sleep during the day for whatever reason.
Yeah. Are you tired throughout the day? I
mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you a coffee drinker in the morning? Oh, you drink energy drinks and shit though, right?
Yeah. These, man, I only like the sugar-free one. I don't like the way that Monster or Red Bull, they all have this taste to it, and this one doesn't. Okay. As far as coffee goes, it's like when people ask me if I'm a coffee drinker, I tell them I'm a creamer drinker because
I love it. That's dope.
When I make coffee, like it's half creamer. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like coffee. Yeah. But like I was talking because my girlfriend is a crazy coffee drinker. Yeah. Like she wants Starbucks 2-3 times a day. Right. And like I like the coffee the way I get it. Yeah. I almost feel like I need enough coffee to make the cream not too sweet. You know how like motherfuckers use the cream so the coffee's not too bitter? Like I'm the opposite. It's like I'm not going to drink straight creamer. I need something to cut into this shit. Tone down the creamer down. Yeah. So I use coffee to cut through it. Yeah. So yeah, I do about that's half funny. And half. But I do really enjoy that. And it's vanilla. I just do vanilla creamer. Okay. And but I don't know how good that is for energy, you know, because it's mostly like sugar and shit. The crash and shit. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not the biggest coffee drinker, but I'll get it sometimes with my girl.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
What about you? You're drinking black, huh? Yeah. I see on there. Yeah. Like, all right. Some hair on your balls.
Yeah. I'm real minimal with most things. You know what I mean? I drink water, wine, and coffee, and then other alcohol. You know what I mean? But like, I don't fucking drink. I've been drinking those Bangs. You know what those are?
How are those? I've heard those are fucking pretty crazy.
I like them, but I don't have much experience with energy drinks,
so you don't know where to gauge it.
I like them occasionally. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like in high school, I would drink soda and shit, but it's been a while since I was in high school.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, not much of a soda drinker.
Nah, everything's just too sweet.
That's one of my biggest fucking vices, dude.
Soda. What soda in particular?
Root beer.
Oh shit!
I'm a fucking root beer drinking motherfucker. I like them all. I used to be A&W all day. Okay. And I think as I got older, I started to realize that that's the sweetest one out of all of them, and so now it's a little too sweet. Yeah, and so I'll go like Barks.
I was just gonna say when I used to drink root beer, like Barks was the best. Yeah, dude.
Barks is good. Got bite.
Yeah, it does. In fact, it does have bite. There's like, you know, hipsters, bro. They'll make anything craft this, craft that. Which God bless them. Cool. There's room in the world for it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. If it's good, if you want to go down that path, then it's there for you.
I love options, baby. You know, but all these craft root beers, they're pretty good. Yeah, you know what I mean? They got some of them with alcohol in it too.
Those ones are a little too tough for me.
Yeah,
but I'm not a big alcohol guy.
Right, you're not. You're a smoker, true and true.
I'm definitely, and even that, like with smoking weed, I smoke a lot of weed in the sense of how often I smoke, but the actual amount of weed is not much. So like, I'll pack a little bowl in a bong. And I'll take a hit. Yeah. One hit, and I'll probably be good for like 45 minutes, hour. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I'll take another hit. Like that's how I smoke now that I'm older. I used to smoke as much as I could when I was younger. That was I don't know if it was like to prove something or.
You just thought this is how people weed.
Like I want to give me all of it. I'll never smoke too much weed, you know? Yeah. And then I had my first panic attack, and I was like, actually, maybe you can smoke too much weed. Right. My first panic attack was the year we went to South by Southwest, but the year before we went with you. Okay. Because the first year we went with you, what was it, 2013? 14? Something like that. So like the year before was like our test run. Like Greg, who was the manager from the Far Side. Right. He's the one that hooked us up. The first year he had told me super last minute that he was going to be able to do it. And so me and Alex and our DJ at the time and Beezatree went. Okay. So, and they're 3 white dudes.
Yes, they are.
And so we're sitting at Alex North's house, and this is like right around the time when dabs are becoming a thing because they're fucking huge. They're everything now, but at this time it's like,
I remember hanging out with you guys back then. Yes.
These are new, and we're at the house. I had never been on a trip like that. We're about to drive 22 hours to fucking Texas. And it's like, let's take some dabs. So we take dabs, and I just start fucking freaking out, dude. Yeah. And like the funniest thing, the reason I mentioned that they're white is we're driving along the border. Yeah. And at the time, I mean, it's still really fucked up. I think at the time is when they started shedding light on all the cartels and right. And I'm just thinking like they're gonna try to rob like 3 white dudes, like they're gonna think we got bread, you know, like they're gonna try and so I'm sitting there high as fuck, like irrationally thinking like they're gonna cut our fucking heads off, like they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucking terrified, dude. I'm like, I don't want to go on this, and I'm sitting there really like I don't want to go anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Our bags are fucking packed. Like, and I'm just sitting there like
I can always play at the Blue Cafe, baby.
We're right down the street, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. No fucking cartels there.
Yeah.
So, and I just freaked out, dude. I really had like a fucking panic attack, man. Yeah. And from that point on, that's always a possibility for me now. You know, even if I just smoke a little bit, I've had crazy bad episodes with edibles. Yeah. You know, I've had. I was at. You know, are you familiar with the Taco Sesh?
Yeah, with was Life in there?
Yeah. Life was doing it. Yeah. And so he invited me out, and we went, and this fool fucking kicked me down fat the first time I went. Yeah. Because he would get stuff from all the vendors and hook them up. Right. And so I went home with like a bunch of edibles and weed and all this shit. I was like, fuck yeah. And I ate all the edibles that night. And I felt amazing, dude. I felt amazing that night. I was like, great. Yeah. So then the next week, he invites me back again. We go. He invited a bunch of homies this time. And so when he goes to break us off, he just gives me like these peach rings. Yeah. Right? And that's all he gives me. And I'm just kind of like fucking already spoiled. You know, I'm just like, this is it? Like after last week, this is it? You know? Yeah. It's like fucking bitch ass peach rings. I eat one. And then I think I ate 2 of them. And then I'm with Tristan. You know Tristan, right? West Coast Avengers. Tangent.
Douglas. Tristan Douglas.
Yep. I'm with him, and we're driving home from the taco sesh, and I'm like, I feel kind of high. But because of the panic attack, I made it a point because I would perform and sometimes hosted there at the taco sesh. Okay. And so I was like, I'm not going to smoke there because I'll be weird. Yeah, I get weird sometimes when I smoke weed and I'm in public. I get weird. Mm-hmm. And so we're in the car and I'm like, I feel fucking high, but I didn't smoke anything. Yeah. And I'm like, look at the package, and it's the peach rings, and it's like 300 milligrams, and there's 4 of them in there. You know what I'm saying? And I ate half. So like it's 150, which to some motherfuckers isn't a lot.
Oh, bro.
But to somebody like me that
I would still be high.
Dude,
yeah.
I get home and I'm just like, okay, TV on. I'm listening. Oh, TV's too loud. Turn it off. Oh, it's too quiet. TV on. TV's too loud. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Turn it down. It's too bright in here. Turn it off. It's too dark in here.
Fuck.
Then I start I feel like I'm like hearing voices.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like possessed. So I'm hearing these voices, and then it's like my brain's like, what if you're possessed? And when my brain said that, it was like the other part of my brain was like, I don't accept that. And like just fucking, it was just like, it's like terrified, you know? Like fucking scared as fuck.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking like 4 Benadryls, so I could knock out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck edibles, dude.
Right.
Like,
yo, fuck edibles.
Fuck edibles,
straight
man.
Up.
Like,
yeah.
Now when people offer, like, I'll take the smallest little bite because it sucks. Because that first night, and I ate all the edibles, I felt amazing, dude. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna start eating edibles more.
Right.
Like, and then the next fucking week, I'm never eating fucking edibles again. Like.
That's literally been my experience with weed as far as like, this is great. An hour later, this is terrible. Not just bad. This is like the worst thing ever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It is.
I feel like motherfucker's been vacuuming for 45 minutes.
Who is this? Next door?
Yeah, I think so. It's them over there. I think that carpet. I'm not even sure they're like, they have carpet in there. That's a weird thing.
I know. The floor?
Yeah, they're just vacuuming the floor. What the fuck? Okay, so we're talking about weed and South by Southwest.
Yes.
What's funny about South by Southwest is the year I went with you guys, I distinctly remember there's obviously a lot of weed there at first, but then, like, for context for everyone, and honestly, I still get hit up about that documentary. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. People are still like, bro, that's the dopest shit ever, dude. Or whatever, bro.
You really fucking made something out of nothing. Yeah. You really did, man.
I had no vision of like what I wanted in it. I was just like, I'm just gonna film everything and then piece it together.
Editing,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. You did a fucking great job on that.
Thank you, man. I had so much fun doing that. But I remember because we shared a house with a bunch of other cats, and I remember it took we were supposed to be there for a week, and it took like 2 days for the weed to run out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember everyone just like getting grumpy and just on each other's nerves. And someone mailed weed or something.
Okay, this is what happened. So we didn't have any weed when we went. We had wax. Remember that?
Right.
Because we hid it in the peanut butter.
That's right.
We had it buried in the peanut butter.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we couldn't take weed. And do you remember we got pulled over? Yes. And we had to get out.
Yes.
And it was because John Beezatree had weed in his backpack before we went. Okay. And so there was traces. The dogs could still smell that even though there was no weed in the bag. Okay. But the officer didn't know that we had like, a quarter of wax hidden in this fucking peanut butter. And so I remember shitting bricks, dude. Yeah. I remember sitting there like, we're going to fucking jail.
Yeah. Because this is before shit was as sweet as it is now. Yeah.
Shit was definitely not sweet. Yeah. Especially in, I think we were like, in like New Mexico or
Texas
somewhere fucking crazy.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And being fucking terrified. But yeah, so then when we got there, we were just only smoking wax. And I think, like you said, like 2 days. Yeah. After 2 days in,
that's we got what it was. Fucking, all the wax ran out.
Yeah. And then we got the package in the mail, and it was like, I think it was like a half pound or.
I remember being a ton.
It was a lot of weed.
And that dude that looked like Jesus was the one who like
Backer.
Orchestrated.
Yeah.
Backer. Yeah. Do you still talk to that fool?
I haven't in a couple years, but I was in contact with him up until a couple years ago. We would still chop it up.
Okay. Yeah. All those fools were cool, man.
Yeah. Actually, one of my buddies, he's in a band called Play Vendor. I'm not sure if you heard of them.
No.
They're dope. I went to high school with him. Yeah. He actually we've been talking about doing a song together. Yeah. And he just hit me up and was like, oh yeah, like I want to knock your verse out, and then this other guy Backer wants to do some music with me, and I'm like, oh shit, Backer. This was like last week too. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, I've heard. So
that's cool.
I guess we're still kind of in contact.
Yeah. I remember we got Mexican food. Me and Gil E-Rage, we still talk about this. He was like, that's a fire taco. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do remember that.
It's little inside jokes that you had to be there. But I
remember that for sure.
I remember when the package finally got there, it's like all it took was one person to light weed, and then it was like everyone started raising up because everyone was sleeping in the hallway. People just started waking up like, what? And then I remember like I got out of the shower and I heard laughter. Someone, I think it was John May, Beast Tree was laughing, and it made me realize like I don't think these motherfuckers have laughed in 3 days. I haven't heard laughter just because everyone's mad grumpy. People arguing and shit, getting on each other's nerves. Yeah.
Just needed that little smoke break.
Yo, for sure.
I remember that too because we were smoking tough. Right when it got there, everybody had a blunt. You know what I mean? Everyone was just
That
was such a fun trip, man.
That was, man.
I always think about that.
I know. It's amazing how fucking long ago that was. That was crazy.
I remember when we were marching through the streets with ASAP Mob.
ASAP Mob.
And I think that we took like Molly, not you. I think just me and Alex and who else? Did Joe go? Was Joe with us?
Joe was definitely with us. Yeah.
And I think we took Molly. And I remember just like fucking having my arm wrapped around fucking ASAP Ferg in Texas at like 11 p.m. like ASAP Ferg all fucking on Molly.
You were in the very front of the line. There was maybe hundreds of people behind
and it was fucking crazy because they had their security there. And their security was making everybody leave except for me and Alex.
Yeah.
And we somehow had our fucking arms around them. You know, not only like was it like, oh no, you guys could go through, like no one else could be in here.
Right.
But then we were touching this motherfucker, you know, like I don't know if he thought we were in the group or some shit, but like he was acting like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fuck. I think that's when their show got shut down.
Yeah,
we were there. We were watching them. That was when Paul Wall came out.
Dude, I remember you and me. We're the ones that were like geeked for that shit. Like the whole
crowd were just like,
I mean, you were like highlight a fucking
shit, Paul Wall. Yo, that was so tight. I just never thought I'd see Paul Wall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I wanted to see Paul Wall until I saw him.
I didn't. I would never like Paul Wall's in town. I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah, no.
But then having it presented to us in that fashion was like
hell of a special guest. He came out like the Sitting Sideways song. Yo, that
he played the hits. He knew what he wanted. He knew what we wanted. He didn't try and play no new bullshit. You know, he gave us what we wanted.
Yeah, yo, that was
in Texas too. You know, like
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Me neither till right now.
Or whatever. Yeah,
I was like, you know, I was in Texas.
Yeah, I went in my Texas story. I went to the Houston airport. I wasn't even in Houston. Like I was just like, it was like a layover. I'm sitting there at a bar by myself. I think I was by myself, and I look over. I'm like, damn, that dude look like Scarface, the rapper, right? And I'm like, nah, no way. You're in Houston. All of a sudden, you see Scarface.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at him. I'm Googling his tattoos and shit. I'm like, yo, that's motherfucking Scarface, bro. And so I go, and he's talking like mad trill to the bartender. He's like, but I mean, no salt on this salad. I got high blood pressure. I was like, yo, this is Scarface like a motherfucker, bro. So I remember I'm like, yo, you're Scarface, right? And he says, yeah. I'm like, all right, word, big fan. He's like, all right. Like, sick. Yeah.
And then you left him alone?
Yep. That's it.
That's the toughest part, man. You don't want to do too much.
If he was cooler,
not
saying he wasn't cool.
Yeah, but he wasn't opening.
Yeah, motherfuckers eating a salad. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No salt.
No one wants no salt. No one wants to be at the airport. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just needed him to know that I knew who he was.
For sure.
You know what I mean? For no reason.
You would have regretted it if not.
Yeah.
That's always been something I've been like bad at. It was like saying what's up to people like that.
Same.
I want to. I really want to, but then I don't because I don't want to be
that guy. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm like protecting myself from them like potentially being dicks. And I'm just like,
they're not fucking with them anymore. Because that happened. You remember Scott? You remember him? He was our photographer for a long time.
Yeah.
He was a big bus driver fan.
Okay.
Big bus driver fan.
Yeah.
And he went to a show and got some. Scott was a really good photographer. Got some really good pictures of him. And then I remember he had approached him after and was like, hey, I got some pictures. Like, you know, I want to shoot them to you. And he was just, I don't remember how, but he was just a dick.
Yeah.
And I remember Scott was like, fuck that fool. Who does he think he is? You know, like, he ain't even that big. It just totally changed his outlook on him, you know?
It happens.
It does. It happens a lot. It happened with me and Blue.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. We played a Cypher Effect show and I'm like fucking huge fucking Blue Neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the best albums.
Right.
And I go up to him and I'm like, yo, I'm a big fan. I wanted to get your contact information because I wanted to talk to you about working on something, you know? And I'm like, we have money. Like, you know, like I'm not asking you for a handout. Like, I want to pay you for work, you know? And he was just like, I don't know. You know, and it was just, I went up by myself and he's sitting there with like 5 or 6 people backstage, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like where could I hit you up? Like, I want to pay you, you know? And he's just like, and then like this girl was just like, you can hit him up on Twitter. And I was just like, oh, and I just walked away like, fuck blue, you know, like
fuck the color blue,
fuck everything blue. Anything that's blue, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with blueberries.
None of that shit. Yeah. And it fucked it up for me, man. Damn. But I've heard stories about him too of having some mental illness and stuff like that. So
see, I actually met him at a Vice party, and he was mad cool.
Yes.
But this is a long time ago. Actually, it was New Year's Eve 2012 because I had just gone to the Joe Rogan show, like the End of the World show, and then we somehow we stumbled into some fucking Vice party, and he was there, and we're like, fuck, are you blue? And he says, yep. I have this habit of asking people if they are who they are when I already know who they are.
Like, what else are you gonna say?
Should probably like enter the conversation differently.
It's like when you're at someone's house and it's like, do you have a bathroom? It's like, you know they have a fucking bathroom.
That's a good point.
You gotta ask somehow. You gotta open the door.
Yeah, that's true, because imagine if someone's like,
nah. Or imagine like, oh shit, blue. And it's like, I'm not fucking blue. Like, I should have asked first.
Yeah, that's a weird thing for sure. Yeah, I hate it. I get nervous. Like, I don't really get like certain people will leave me starstruck, right? But especially these days, you know what I'm saying? But in the environment I work in right now, it's so like I have months to prepare. So then when it finally happens, it's like, all right, cool. We were kind of prepared for this, but like when you just see a motherfucker out in the wild, you're just like, oh shit!
You're like, hey, don't expect it.
Yeah, there's a few people who would cause me to like, I'd have to ask. You know what I mean? Like if I saw Sam Jackson or some damn buddy walking around, like I'll risk looking like an asshole. And the cool thing is, if he was an asshole, I kind of already expect him to be an asshole, so no love lost. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get called a motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, that'd be the best.
I was gonna say that's actually a term of endearment from him.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? I went to a Jay-Z concert once, and I literally, it was so packed. It was House of Blues when American Gangster came out, and there was like a scuffle or something, and someone shoved someone and like dominoed their way into me, and I slammed into the person next to me, and I was like, yo, my bad or whatever, and he's like, it's all good like that, and I look, and it was fucking Mike Tyson, and fresh, shit. Like the tattoo was still swollen, right? Like he had just got this shit, and he has a big titty white chick with an old chick, and I'm like, oh shit, so I'm looking, and so I'm like, fuck, I want to talk to this dude. I love Mike Tyson, and he was like cool, and he finally left. And one of my crazy homies came. I'm like, yo, I just slammed into Mike Tyson. He's like, and you let him leave? I'm like, fuck you want me to do? Stay here, Mike. That's definitely
like yelling in his ear too, like at a concert. Like, so what's up? How you been, Mike?
Yo, so many people would do that, and I'm so happy I'm not one of those people. Straight up, I'd rather miss the opportunity and not be that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Same with the girls. The girl on the couch.
Exactly.
I'd rather just like, at least I'm not the guy who like tried to fuck.
Yeah, it feels better.
Yeah,
it feels better.
Absolutely.
It feels better than striking out.
Yo, straight up.
Mike's crazy, man. Yeah. I just saw. I said like I know him. Mike's, looking off in space. Mike's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I saw him in that new Eminem video.
I haven't seen that. I just seen the pictures from
really
it. Is it good?
Yeah, I like it a lot. And I'm a pretty big Eminem critic.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that come from the same place of like him making you love hip hop so much, and then really just switching his whole style.
Yeah.
And not even, the thing that makes me bitter is that we don't even get hints of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people evolve and shit, but he knows what we want to hear. He knows we want to hear that fucking.
It's like he does it on purpose.
Yeah, but his shit is more successful than ever now.
Right.
So you can't blame him.
Sure. Is it more successful than ever?
I think so.
Like the old shit or the new shit?
The new shit.
No shit.
I think.
Wow.
I could be wrong. I haven't checked the numbers.
Okay. We'll just say it is.
Yeah. I've liked some of the like latest stuff I've heard from him, and that video is dope.
Yeah. The last album he put out was good. Parts of it were good for sure.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It's like someone like, it's the age where like everyone talks about this, right? But when you're Eminem, how big is that magnifying glass over you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're Eminem. You can't afford, like, if you're Eminem and you put out an album that every track isn't fire, they're gonna be like, it's just kind of trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you're someone else who maybe a fourth of your album's really good and the rest is whatever. We'll skip around. People are like, it's good. It's real good. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know, like he made such a splash. Like you don't, and to me, like it was my favorite thing about a lot of rappers is the ones that make it seem effortless.
Yeah.
Like my favorite rapper ever is Biggie.
Right.
And like probably the most nonchalant rapper ever, you know? And Eminem, his first album, that fool it sounded like he wasn't trying and he was better than everyone still.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that shit attracts me to it. Now, I feel like he's super, super technical, which is dope, but he's trying to be, you know?
Yeah.
And that takes away from it a little bit for me. Just my own personal taste. You know? I would never discredit him as an artist.
Yeah.
But for my personal taste,
and all that shit. I get it.
It's insane. And he's elevated his shit.
Right.
I just don't think it's like when motherfucker cooks some fancy ass shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I like the original, you know, I don't need it to be elevated.
Right.
Like, I like the fucking
right.
regular how it was.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I completely agree. Yeah.
But sorry, was it?
No. Go ahead.
But I was just saying because I went on a tangent. My whole point of that was because Mike Tyson's in the video.
Oh, right.
And that was fucking funny.
I still haven't seen it.
He's funny.
Mike Tyson's out here right now.
He is. You saw that one about where he's like, it's a way I'm not that guy anymore. Sometimes it makes me feel like a bitch.
Oh yeah. What was that? Some interview. Yeah, he's everywhere. Yeah,
that was a crazy like look into that fool's head.
That fool cries real strangely.
He does. Yeah. He cries scary tears.
It's like he gets angry at himself.
Yeah.
It's like he's never cried before. It's like,
what is this?
He's like feeling his face like,
bitch?
Why am I leaking? What the fuck is this? I've never experienced this. I usually make others cry.
Oh yeah. It's crazy, dude. It's like, it's cool to see that though. It's cool to see his transformation into like
absolutely.
Because he's very like self-aware.
Yeah.
And that's good for someone that was in his situation, you know. Because that fool had just like, I don't know his whole fucking life story.
Sure.
But I know that he had a tough upbringing and then was doing fucking drugs and was just on top of the world at a time where like you could get so high and then fall. You know, the 90s was like the time for motherfuckers to get real fucking high and then fall all the way off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Something I've never thought about until right now is like that the way he reacted to getting a bunch of money and shit and fame and all that was more in line of like rappers, right?
Yeah.
Whereas him, like you said, tough upbringing. He was a criminal. He was a stick up kid. You know what I mean? He used to rob motherfuckers, do a bunch of drugs and shit, but he could also fight really well. So then they're like, here's $200 million when you're 18 or whatever, right? Yeah. So of course this motherfucker's gonna lose his mind, just like rappers do, but we always like, it's just a rapper. That's some rapper shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're an elite athlete. You're expected to like conduct yourself with like class for whatever reason. But you're just like, bro, this is who the fuck I was when you dumped all this money on me. Like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Like, I got this. You gave me this money strictly for knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had this like, creative, artistic fucking prowess or some shit. It was like, I knocked motherfuckers out and you gave me a lot of money for it.
Yeah,
like,
and now I'm supposed to be nice.
Like a role model. Yeah, you know,
I've
like,
done the wrong thing my whole life and it served me
here,
really well.
It got me right here.
Yeah. That's a weird thing.
I know, man. Yeah. Especially in that situation because like you said, like most athletes aren't knocking motherfuckers out.
Right.
You know, like it was a combat sport.
Yeah.
That this fool was good at. And like I'm not the biggest boxing guy, so I don't know necessarily his everything about him. I don't know how great of a fighter he was versus how great of a fucking knockout artist he was.
I got you.
I don't know if that fool was fundamentally sound. He might have been, but that's not what you remember him for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if he wasn't, that's even more reason to be like, this fool could literally just knock someone out and it's like, oh, here's a bunch of fucking money for that. You know, like, you know, there was no PR was different then. Like, like sometimes I probably watched it like 10 times. It's like a 6-minute compilation of like Mike Tyson's craziest moments.
I love
It's just this fool fucking telling some lady like, I don't usually do interviews unless I fornicate with you. So you know,
you should stop talking
unless you want to. Yeah, it's like
the
what?
Best,
like
bro.
crazy,
I'm a
dude.
big fucking Mike Tyson. I like Mike Tyson as I like his character more than I like him. I'm the same way. I'm not big into boxing. You know what I mean? But like I like that guy. You know what I mean?
I say that about a lot of athletes. Like, so what I could relate it to nowadays is basketball. Motherfuckers still vacuuming.
Yo, they're still vacuuming. It's been, I'm not even exaggerating, it's been 45 fucking minutes since they started vacuuming.
Pristine carpet, dude. That is
I got so many questions, but I'm going to interview him next. So what do you vacuum? What are you vacuuming?
I'm the same way with basketball now, and there's like, I guess I'm like that with, because like even all the way, like there's a part of me that likes Trump, man. There's a part of
don't
me
get me
that,
started, baby.
Because I'm not a Trump supporter.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
I don't think he should be our president.
Sure.
With that being said, there's a lot of shit he does in that position that just makes me laugh.
I like him, I like Mike Tyson.
It's just
I wouldn't vote for Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he should not be president. Yeah,
just so it's clear. You know what I mean? But that don't necessarily eradicate everything I like about the motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And
man, I was watching something like the thing about China where she's just like, why are you calling it the Chinese disease? Like she's like, that's kind of racist. He's like, it's not racist at all. It's because it comes from China. And just the way that fool says that shit, you know?
I'm a big fan of anyone who gives no fucks. And like, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't. But it's kind of the same thing. Like, yo, I acted this way my whole life, and now I'm president.
I know,
I'm supposed
crazy.
to pull it in.
It's absurd, dude.
You know
what
I mean? Like, dude, I'm rewarded for being this way. You know?
I guess the thing that makes me not like him a lot is the fact that it really feels like a joke.
Yeah. And I understand that.
It really, like, just
you almost want him to take it more seriously.
Yeah, you know,
but
like,
then I'm just like, but I also like
fun.
that you don't.
Exactly.
So then I just resort to like, well, fuck everything. This is cool. At least I'm entertained.
Like I dislike Trump supporters a lot more
than Trump himself.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like they take parts of what he says and run with it in ways that, you know, maybe he's not saying to do that, or it's made a lot of people feel comfortable racist.
Right.
And he does have his past of like, sure. I don't know. I'm not a fucking Trump expert.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, as a character, I mean, that fool's fucking hilarious, dude.
I swear, I was just talking in my little group chat yesterday because my wife was watching something, and I was like, yo, it's so slept on. There was that one where I think it was during his first, like, his campaign, like 4 years ago. They're like, you've gone on record as calling women fat pigs, slobs, and all that. And he's like, without missing a beat, he's like, only Rosie O'Donnell in front of the world. And everyone's like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Yo, that's a bad motherfucker, man. First of all, that's comedic genius right there. How quickly he came back with that. You can't fuck with that.
That's
you know what I mean?
Man. And the funny thing too is, like, I don't think he was trying to be funny.
Yeah,
and that's what makes him funny to me. Is I don't think he thinks he's funny.
Right.
You know, like
he's literally just an asshole, and sometimes that's funny.
Like, I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and it's like it's crazy because she was like, it's like he doesn't have a grasp on reality. Yeah. And I was like, that's true, but it's only because he's been able to live his whole life in his own reality.
That's his reality.
And it's worked out great.
Absolutely.
So, like, in his mind, like, he lives this way that is not, when you watch, you're just like, fucking buffoon. But some fucking how this motherfucker's the president now. You know? Like, he's always been that way, and it's been, I don't know, man. I watch him and I'm just like, I'm perplexed by it. Like, I don't want him to be our president, but he entertains me. Yeah. And that's not really a role that the president's supposed to take, you know?
I do agree.
But he's just like, the way that he just carries himself is just like, he was doing a speech the other day, and he was just like, he's like, yeah, our whole task force has been doing great. Mike Pence has been leading it. And he's like, and this gentleman, and you could tell, like, he has the hand out and he's trying to think of this fool's name and he can't. And he's just like, this gentleman.
But not really concerned. He's like, I might think of it.
Has worked tirelessly, and then just like moves on. And I'm like, you can see, like, this motherfucker was like trying, he should have snapped his finger. You know, like, this fool, like, And I'm just like, this fool is a fucking
Jerry, John,
whatever your name is. Great job, great job.
It was Andrew. And
I'm like, man, like, it's. Yeah, I don't know if it's something that we should be entertained with, but I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, like, just to be fair, on the other side, because That's a weird thing. I'm pretty moderate. I'm in the middle when it comes to shit, just in general. You know what I mean? I'm not super into politics. You'll never be happy if you dive into politics.
Yeah, you can't.
Right?
It's impossible.
No way. But I'm here for the mere entertainment factor of it. So I remember back in the day when like, I can't remember who it was, but there was an issue with Obama and he invited them to the White House to have a beer. And everyone was like, you either had people like, I don't want my president drinking beer with people, you know, and other people were like, he's the best ever, you know what I mean? And I'm just kind of in the middle, like, well, I like beer, but I'm not the president, but I don't know.
Who cares?
Who gives a fuck?
It's like so got shit face, you know? Like,
like I just choose to be entertained. Like, that's cool. That's something no one's done before.
It's usually the way that I get my politics is I have a select group of people that I trust just generally, right? You know, and so then when they talk about like Tristan is one of them, you know, like I know that he is fucking
intelligent and well read,
and he's into that shit, and so when I hear that full talk, I listen, you know, but yeah, I'm kind of, I mean, it's just like there's no point. Yeah, man. There's no point.
Honestly, there's so many other cool things to like wrap my head around. You know, that's kind of where I'm at. With
like I just won the finals on my NBA 2K20.
Did you?
You know, so you know what I'm saying? I got more important stuff than, you know, our lives. You know?
I agree, bro. I understand. I'm unapologetically only concerned with with what I care about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like these little podcasts and shit. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about it. I enjoy the shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's important to me.
Yeah.
So
that's how it is with music for me. I mean, of course, like I want motherfuckers to like it.
Sure.
But I do what I want with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't do things for people. Yeah. You know, I create for myself and then after hope people like it.
Yeah. What was your first exposure to rap music? I've known you for fucking a long time, but I don't know like what's the first time you heard rap music?
Like when I was like 8 or 9, I got the Eni Kamosi Hot Stepper single tape.
Shit.
So I had the regular version, I think the censored version. I don't know if it had that. I can't remember if there's any cuss words in it. And then I had the instrumental and the acapella.
You say it was a cassette single?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the cardboard sleeves?
Yeah. And I got it from Santa. You know, I got it from Santa. Right. So that's the first memory. But growing up, I wasn't a hip hop head.
Okay.
You know, I was when I really got into music, like the first band that really got me into music as an individual was Sublime.
Okay.
That was the first band that like I want to listen to this. I'm gonna put it on. I know the songs. I know because before that it was just like I like this song. I don't know who sings it. Right. And then so Sublime, and then I got into like classic rock.
Yeah.
When I started playing guitar when I was 13.
Okay.
So I got into classic rock, and then that like slowly evolved into like hardcore. You know, I was into like or actually that went to like emo.
Okay.
Taking Back Sunday. And shit like that.
Yeah.
That got to hardcore.
Yeah.
And then that went to metal. It was like drugs, you know? Like, started out with weed in my head, but I was on meth, you know? I was going in.
Yeah.
And then there was a weird correlation. I don't know if it's still like this, but when I was, 17, 18, metalheads liked underground hip hop. Like those two things crossed over. They didn't like mainstream shit. It kind of stood for the same thing. It was a little rebellious.
Yeah.
And it was like anti-establishment.
Make it appreciate
even though hip hop wasn't like preaching that, it was kind of the core values of that at the time. You
Just
know?
being an underground rapper in general was already synonymous with like fuck the system, fuck all the systems.
For sure. Yeah. And so I got into like, Living Legends and Atmosphere and the same fucking underground shit everyone at that time was getting into. But and then I would freestyle at school, and I went to like a rich like white person school. Yeah. And so like I was the token black guy. Yeah. And I would rap. I know, right? I was the blackest thing these motherfuckers saw, like, which is crazy because exactly, dude. Exactly. And I barely even passed for black,
Right.
And but like I would freestyle and stuff and like people and because of that, at the time I didn't know this, but looking back on it, because of that, I think people were like, oh shit, like the black kid's rapping,
Right.
And I remember being at a party and it was like We had some drinks, and like one of my buddy's friends were like, or one of my buddy who was having the party, his sister, who was a couple years older, had some rap friends.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, you should battle them. You know, and these motherfuckers were like hip hop heads. I was not. You know, I was like, I like to rap a little bit. I have no idea what I sounded like, but probably terrible. You know, probably really bad.
Right.
And I remember battling them and like everyone just hyping me and being like, oh, you know, and me feeling like, oh, you know. Yeah. And so then like a couple weeks later, like my mom and dad are split. So I go with my dad on the weekends. And he had moved to like Harbor City. I don't know if you know where that's at. It's like by Carson up there. Okay. And I didn't know anybody. Yeah. And so I would just stay in. And so I was chilling at that fool's house like a Friday night and I watched 8 Mile. Oh, you know, last battle scene finished, and then fucking I was having flashbacks of my fucking drunken battle that I won on the fucking technicality of everyone being like, "Oh, this was rapping," you know. And I fucking wrote my first rap, and I was like, and I liked. I don't remember what it was. I never like recorded or anything like that.
And so you freestyle before you ever try to write a rap.
Before I even listen to rap. You know? Like, I listened to the Chronic 2001, sure. Eminem and stuff that was on the radio at the time. But like, I was
actively pursue listening to rap. I was
listening to metal and fucking hardcore and shit like that.
Like, do you remember the first time you're like, I could try to freestyle? Like, was you know what I mean, or did you just always?
Yeah, it was
rhyme
like
words?
I would do it. I think the first time was on the bus. After winning a football game. Like I was on a football team. Yeah. And so like when we lost, we had to be quiet. You know, but when we won, we were fucking rowdy. And so I think maybe like someone started banging on the seats. You know what I mean? It's real. I can't remember pinpoint the first time.
Which is cool to me.
Yeah. But I remember that happening and doing it kind of as like a joke. But because I had natural rhythm, which is something that's a tough thing for some people. You know, that's the starting point. Like if you don't have rhythm, you shouldn't be rapping. You know, like that's where it starts at.
Would you and I we've talked about this before. I like you because it bothers you just as much as it bothers me when someone's rapping offbeat.
Oh, it's the end.
You know what I mean? It's literally the end.
Nothing that you're saying, and that to me, like, that soul thing is what kind of like my whole basis for listening to rap. I'm a stylistic fan. Yes. And the reason is I feel like you could have a really deep subject, something really dope, and if it doesn't sound good when you're saying it, it doesn't matter. Agree. And then you could have a song about fucking nothing, and if it sounds good, it's that's pretty much the radio nowadays. Exactly. And I like the radio nowadays. Same. I'm not a hater, you know. That's what I listen to, and so it's like I kind of realized that about myself creatively too. Like I tend to like that's how I create. Right. I go off of like the sound as opposed to like the message. Yeah. You know, and so occasionally something sounds really good that also is really complex lyrically and whatever. You know what I mean? And perfect. That's ideal. I love that. But to me, that was the first Eminem album. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was just like this fool is saying these things in such a dope way, and he's not stretching it. Yeah. It's like he's just talking. Yeah. But it all rhymes, and it's fucking dope. You know? Like,
I remember, man, hearing that, and this is the shit I explained to my kid. Like, you don't realize like what this did to us when this came out, bro. Yeah. I mean, even like I wasn't a rapper back then. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I, for whatever reason, maybe whatever's in me that caused me to be a rapper was already there, and it made me like latch on to little things like no one ever rhymes 4 syllables in a row. Yeah. You know what I mean? You talk, this word, talk, this word. You know what I mean? Yeah. But just like the complexity of the rhyme schemes. I remember latching onto that when I was like 12 and being like, holy shit. Yeah. This dude's doing everything right now.
And it's crazy. It's crazy too, because I feel the same way. And then I feel like when I started writing, that was what was natural. Yes, you know what I mean?
I do.
It wasn't like, I was thinking about this earlier today. I was listening to some of my newer stuff in the car, and it feels weird to write because it almost, when you listen to it after, it almost feels like it wasn't you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just it's a net, like you're writing and the shit's like flowing through you. Yeah. And once you finish, you're like, that's why I listen to my own shit and I'm like, yo, I get excited about it because it almost feels like
you didn't do
I didn't do that shit, you know?
That's
and
cool.
There's little style points and little things that I'll do that I won't recognize and appreciate until after and I'm listening because it was so natural in the writing. It was like, this is how this should go. What's that? Like I've always said, it feels like a puzzle. Writing a song is like a puzzle.
Yeah. And the way you write is definitely like that. Yeah, you just puzzle all the shit together.
Yeah, trying to fit it in.
Yeah.
And like there's so many options for cadences and rhyme schemes. And so then it's also, you're kind of like a curator, like what do you want to present to people for them to be like, that was dope, you know? So like that whole idea is like what makes that shit so fun, you know? But it's crazy because it feels like not calculated, and I think it's like maybe when we were listening as kids we were absorbing it, and and you weren't breaking it down to a science like that, but it was like your mind was, and so when it was your turn to write, you're like, oh, this is supposed to sound like this, this transition should sound like this, and this should have like a little pause, you know, like all those things become natural.
We just got baby Einstein from birth. You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, like we listen different because I hear some motherfuckers that rap, and it's just like, why did you do that? Yeah, like you didn't hear, like it could even be like one switch of a word or one extra syllable or one such a minuscule thing. Yeah. And it's like, you didn't hear that? Like you didn't think like that was okay to you? You know, and I know that I've heard your stuff. I know you could hear people and hear how calculated it is and hear how much of a perfectionist they are. Yeah, man. You know? That's what I hear in you for sure. It's meticulous. Yeah. And so I feel like when you hear that shit, you appreciate it and you know like this, you're natural. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like
for people who don't do that, do you think they're even aware that they're not doing it? Yeah. Right?
I feel like that because like how could you do it if you were? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's so easy not to. When I hear somebody miss a multi, you know, when I hear like, yo, now I'm on the big shit and now I'm doing this and it's gonna come all quick. And I'm just like, you didn't hear that? Like,
oh my God.
It's so real.
So many people have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like when you said all, like there was so many words that rhymed with real that you could have made work there and you just didn't.
You didn't.
And I don't, and almost no, the only person that gets away with that to me is Kendrick does that sometimes. Kendrick's not.
I agree.
He's not the most, and for some reason, and he's still in my top 5 all-time rappers. You know what I mean?
Why does he get away with that? Because I agree. I agree with you.
I think maybe because he's so creative and versatile in other ways. Yeah. That it's like you have to feel like he did it on purpose.
I was just gonna say, I feel like whether it's the tone of his voice or whatever, I'm pretty sure he knows he could have done that, but he like purposely did it
like, I don't
for
need
whatever
to.
reason.
Or maybe I don't need to, or like I'm telling this story and I'm not trying to, for whatever reason, because he's one of the only people of that stature that does that. Yeah, you know, because J. Cole doesn't. He doesn't miss those, and But I feel like Kendrick to me is so creative and versatile that I could overlook that, and with most people that's not the case. You Agree, because that's really something that bugs me. Yeah. When people miss those multi opportunities, I'm just like, oh, it could have been so much better. You know, it's right there.
You're not even a rapper at this point. What are you, fucking Curtis Blow? Like, is this the 80s? You know what I mean? Like when all you had to do was rhyme the last.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. And there's a time for it. There's schemes that allow that. You know. Yeah. But there's schemes that absolutely don't. Yeah. And when you do that in those places that you shouldn't, it's like, I don't even want to hear this no more. Yeah. It feels wrong. Yeah. Even though they say you can't be wrong and shit, you can be. You can be fucking wrong, you know?
Yeah, you definitely
could be out of tune, you could be off time, and you could miss your fucking multi.
I know. I don't know why my standards are so high, but they are.
Yeah. You know I mean, I think it's like being a fan for so long and then also doing this. Yeah. You listen. I feel like I listen to rappers differently than most people aside from other rappers, you know? Like I feel like you and I and other people that we've known for all this time and are, you know, we listen similarly. Sure. But the average consumer maybe doesn't.
Yeah. That's interesting. I haven't really thought of it that way. Yeah. But that's very true. That's very true.
Because I feel like a lot of people that listen to music they don't want to like it, which is a really weird way. Because when I listen to music, like, it's almost like a innocent until proven guilty type of thing.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah.
And for some people, I feel like it's like, let's see what's up with this. You know what I mean? And
do you think regular people are that way, or that's other rappers? Is that how they listen?
Both, and like not all. Like meaning like both apply, but not all of either.
I got you.
Like
yeah.
there are some rappers that don't listen like that. That listen like me.
Sure.
Because I'll have some of my homies and they'll be showing me music and I'm like, oh, that's dope. And I'll show them something and they'll be like, this is whack, it's unoriginal. And I'm like, what did you think? Like, I wasn't like, you got to hear the best next best thing, you know? I'm like, I'm just showing you some vibey, cool shit, you know?
I definitely have homies like that. You know, it drives me fucking crazy.
It's like, how are you listening? Like, you don't want to like this. Like, when I put this on, you were like, all right, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't listen to music that way.
I'm so glad I'm not that way.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to enjoy some shit, and it's almost like a checklist. And you're listening, and you're like, oh, this is dope. This is dope. And then they hit one of those things on a checklist, and it's like, okay, you fucked that up. All right, let's keep listening. Yeah. And then you get enough of those checks, and it's like, all right, I can't fuck with this. You know, I can't do it. Yeah. But up until that point, like,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah. That's a good way where like others would. Like the people we're talking about, they have their checklist, but it's like, did you do this right? Okay. If you get all these checks right, then I like the song. Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Fuck that.
I'm not like that.
Nah, me neither.
But that also doesn't mean like, so if I listen and I'm like, yeah, it's not bad, doesn't mean I'm gonna listen to it again necessarily either.
Sure.
It's just like, I don't have, like, for something to be whack, to me, it has to be whack.
Right.
And I'll show people stuff that I know isn't whack, and they'll be like, this is whack. Yeah. And I'll be like, how are you listening? What perspective are you listening from?
That's
like,
if I came
in here and I was like, I'm gonna show you the best fucking rap song you ever heard.
Yeah.
And then I put it on. Yeah. And then you were like, nah,
you're probably gonna fall short.
That's fine. Yeah. But if I came in and I'm like, yo, check this song out, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, she's whack, you know?
Right.
Like, I had a homie, I got like an argument with the homie the other day about that. He's like, this shit's not original. It's not, I've heard this before. And I'm like, that's okay. That's okay.
I hate motherfuckers that say that shit. Know what I'm saying? Boy, like, oh my God, I have friends like that. Because it's been done before.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Because there's cliche and then there's fucking home cooked meal. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I go to your crib and you got some mashed potatoes and some fucking chicken and some corn, I've had that shit 1,000 times and I'd love to fucking have it again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if I come over there and you got some bullshit ass chicken and stuff, then that's a problem, you know? But I'm never going to have a problem with the motherfucker doing something that I've heard before good.
Why can't everyone do good things, even if the other guy did that already?
Like, you have, like, because when I first started rapping, so when I came in, like, I was with No Earth and he was like this Project Blowed head, like, I want to be fucking different than everyone. I want people to marvel at me.
Right.
And so I kind of took that position with him, right, and was like, I want to be fucking weird and different, and I want fools to be like, whoa, I've never seen this before, you know? Yeah. And maybe like 4 or 5 years in, I was like, man, fuck that. Like, I kind of just want to be like something that people could comfortably listen to, and enjoy it, and have a good time listening. Like, the perspective I had on it was like, you could be on stage with people praising you, or you could be on stage with people vibing with you. And I gravitated towards that more.
The vibe.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to like be with the people and make music. And it didn't necessarily have to be this like new fucking, whoa, never heard this before. You know, like that's cool too. I like shit like that too. Sure. But it's not the fucking end all be all, you know? Yeah. Like, I'll always love a classic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If someone could do some shit good, like, that will never be bad to me.
Yeah. I completely agree.
And some motherfuckers, they want that new all the time, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know what. I'm just speaking for like my friends, and they'll hear this and they'll know I'm talking about them. So suck my dick in advance. But I don't know. It's like some weird pretentiousness. Pretentiousness makes people do stupid shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's like they care more that you know that they don't really fuck with it than they actually don't really fuck with it. You know what I mean?
For sure,
It's like, dude, do you ever just listen to shit and like it or don't like it? Why does everything have to be this fucking chess match?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Like,
it's crazy to me.
Sometimes I wonder if it's like, I wonder if it could even be a thing where it's just like like I know all the dope music that you haven't heard.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're showing me something I haven't heard. Like, if I haven't heard of it, it's probably not that dope. You know what I mean?
I
like,
literally have said that to these people. Like, yo, if you showed me this, like, I could see, like, if you heard this first, you would totally show this to me. But because I'm showing it to you, it's whack.
Yeah,
like,
you want to. Yeah, I
off.
definitely.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I bet you go home and listen to this when I leave.
Go
you know
show
what I mean?
people.
Yeah. It's weird, bro.
Hip hop is just a weird fucking. I've learned that in doing this because I feel like I'm a pretty straightforward guy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't fucking like to play games or do none of that shit. Like, and when I came into it, I kind of felt like that was how everyone was gonna be.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know.
Yeah.
And I've had motherfuckers that I was hella cool with and everything was cool, and then jealousy was a factor, you know? Right. Or these weird things where I'm like people being scared of like, oh, like I don't want to get outshined or I don't, you know, I know people that have told me that, like, I don't want to ever get bodied on the track. And I'm like, that logic doesn't make sense to me. Like, if someone bodies me on a track, it's because they were exceptional. You know what I'm saying? It's not because I was not good. And so, have you ever, I've never listened to a track where there was 4 motherfuckers on it, and like, and if there was one guy that was better than someone else, it'd be like, I'm only listening to him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if 2 motherfuckers were dope on that shit, I'm gonna listen to both of them. Yeah, you know?
Yeah. That's a really good point.
I've never ever been scared about somebody bodying me on a track.
As long as you know your shit is good, then what the fuck difference does it make?
It's the same reason why, like, I've had conversations with homies where they're like, why would you do a track with that person? And it's like, because the fucking beat was dope.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
what
they did on it doesn't fucking matter to me.
Yeah, I agree.
What is, like, I wrote my 16 to the beat. Like, I wasn't listening to their verse when I was writing, you know? Like, so, like, with this shit, to me, it's like I just love writing. I love making music.
Right.
And coming into it, I felt like that was the playing field. And it's not, you know, there's different agendas across the whole shit, you know. There's different kinds of people, and people have different feelings and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it's crazy navigating, but after you do it for so long, I think you kind of land with the people that you should be with.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You go through those things. Yeah, you go through those things. Because I remember, you know, back in the day, I was like fucking with everybody, you know?
Right.
I was everyone's the homie, you know? Like, kind of naive, you know? Just kind of like, fucking, we're all one big fucking, you know? And it's like, when other motherfuckers don't feel that way, that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
And I'm sure it probably stretches to more than hip-hop. I'm sure rock bands have that fucking issue, but I feel like hip-hop...
There's a lot of ego in hip-hop, bro.
Yeah, that's why groups generally don't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's like... And I realized that being in groups, and it's not even to like slight people, it's just like when you're in a hip-hop group, like everybody in there has to be on the same page of what's going on, you know? And sometimes they're not, you know. With Cloudmakers, like, there was a little bit of a power struggle, you know, but like not to my fucking knowledge, you know, because
I got you.
The shit that was hard with it for me in that situation was like, in the beginning, like No Earth was the fucking plug, had all the fucking drugs, everyone fucked with them, and I was second fiddle to that fool for a long time, and I had no fucking problem with that shit, you know. And then once we started getting out a little more and people started gravitating towards me a little bit more, I saw that he didn't like that, and that just hit me a weird way, you know, because it was like we're in the same race. If it's you, if it's me, if it's fucking Brew, if it's any of us, you know. And but then I was also in English class project,
right,
and that was the opposite. That was just like nobody. There was no power struggle there, right? You know what I'm saying? It was just like, oh, this is your song. This shit's fucking dope. Oh, this is you. Let's push this shit. You know, like, and so they could work. But when you look at hip hop groups in the history of time, like how many are together still? Like Wu-Tang, right? You know what I mean? I think and that's
even them, like they're not really, without their conflicts.
And it's not like they're this active group. Like
money's keeping them together, bro. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Like that's like they're all making their
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah,
which is totally fine.
They're all making their checks separately, but when they come together, that's a different check. You know, so they're still doing that, but it's like, you know, Tribe, Far Side, fucking even like Odd Future for some newer shit. Like, it's too hard. You know, even bands are hard, but at least like the bass player knows he's the bass player.
Sure.
You know,
like, that's a really fucking good point.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
In hip hop, it's just like, no, I want it.
Everyone's front man.
Yeah.
Everyone's front man.
Yep.
Yeah. For my gig or whatever, they've tried to get certain bands in, like big bands, you know what I mean? And it comes back like the manager's like, well, no, these guys can't be in the same room together. I'm like, what do you mean? They're fucking
touring
at Coachella. You know what I mean? Like they're on tour and like, no, they don't like each other. This is their job. Like they're literally coworkers and they don't make any small talk. You know what I mean? That shit's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy to see like that level of, because you know it's the same in sports. Yeah, it could be the same thing with athletes. You'll see couple basketball players that they don't like each other, but they work. It works.
It's just a human thing more than a musician thing or athlete thing.
It must suck, man, because like it doesn't suck to be successful. Yeah, but it must suck to be successful when like that. When you know that there are bands where those dudes love each other and they're successful.
Like, why can't we be that?
Yeah, you know. Yeah, because I realized when I was younger, like, because I was in bands and shit, and it was me and my buddy Jared, and we could just never find other motherfuckers that wanted to do that shit how we did. Yeah. And that in that time made me realize like that's one of the most special, unique qualities about bands is them meeting each other. Right. Just that bottom line first, you know, like fucking the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like those fools just knowing each other was the first piece of luck that they needed, you know? Yes. And then getting along, and then being fucking great musicians. Third on that list was the special thing, you know?
Right,
and it made me. And that's kind of why I started rapping, dude. Like that exact sentiment was like, if I can't find these motherfuckers to be in a band with me, I'm not gonna make it. But I could rap by myself. Yeah. And then I went and got in a 12-man hip hop group.
For some reason, this shit ain't work.
Yeah. This 5-person band doesn't work. Let me try it with 13 fucking people in it. You know.
Right. Yeah.
That's the most special shit, man. Yeah. Is finding people that you could gel with and vibe with, and so I feel like right now I have a couple. I have this project I'm working with called Taste Buds. Okay. And it's me, this dude Ash Riser, who's really dope. He's on a couple songs on Section 80. Okay. And he was on To Pimp a Butterfly. Yeah. And then Cap Callis, who is somebody who is known in like older like King of the Dot battle rap scene. Okay. And now is like, you know, much more on the music side and has his affiliations. And then this dude Nico is. And he's I don't know if he was signed under Talib. Okay. You know, and this is real dope group of fucking dudes. Yeah. And we all like gel really dope and make good fucking music together. Right. You know? And then I have the dudes from ECP, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those two groups, I feel like when I work with them, I'm like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. You know, like I've went through what it wasn't supposed to be like to get to somewhere where it's like not even the like, again, the music, the quality of the music is not the first thing. Yeah. You know, first it's like how we get along, how we create and shit.
And to take it full circle to the beginning of this conversation, it's kind of like how when we were kids, it was so hard. Music and shit was so inaccessible that you almost had to go through that to really realize what you have now. Like appreciate it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like there's a great chance that had you just jumped to this, you wouldn't
be ready
this
for
is cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But you wouldn't be like, yo, this is really cool.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? For sure,
yeah.
Even that with like like we were talking earlier about the engineer. Yeah. I'm fucking with that fool's so dope, man. Yeah. And it's like
that makes such a big difference, bro, when your engineer's dope.
But you know what sucks is like when you're not with that engineer, it doesn't sound right anymore. You know,
true.
And so, but you know, I did a song over here with Extra recorded it, and he made it sound dope. I was like, yo, it's different. It's different, but it sounds good.
Extra's good at making things different and cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is. I've been bumping that shit a lot, but like I'm like super strict on my engineers. Right. You know, like when it comes to like collab, if I'm gonna be on someone else's shit, I don't mind working with their engineer. Yeah. But if I'm putting it out, like I got like 2-3 dudes that I will let, you know. Yeah. And so when I get into the right studio with the right people and the right engineer, like this shit feels different. Right. You know, it feels like this is why I did it. Finally, this long into it. This is what I wanted.
Yeah,
this is what I was looking for.
And if you would have stopped because you hadn't found it yet, you would assume like, shit's never gonna come. Like you wouldn't have found it.
Yeah,
you know, that's applicable to a lot of things in life, man.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So real quick, rapid fire.
Okay.
We bit a Snoop's podcast, the GGM.
Okay,
yeah. I like this shit. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about. Yeah, it's been done, but it's fun. So fuck it. Let's do it again.
Different people, different outcome.
Exactly. Pool or jacuzzi?
Pool.
All right. Indica or sativa?
Indica.
Yes.
Sleepy weepy.
Sleepy
all day.
I always pegged you as a sativa guy.
Sativa makes me feel jittery.
Yeah.
Give me the jitters a little bit.
Okay.
As I sip my fucking...
your monster?
Yeah. Sativa gives me the jitters, though.
Yeah. No, I get that. Indica makes me depressed, and sativa makes me depressed and angry.
Yeah. So I'll go with the indica.
Yeah. Del Taco or Taco Bell?
It's tough, but Taco Bell.
It is tough, huh?
Yeah, because Del Taco has some classics, you know?
Yeah. I like certain things from both places.
Taco Bell's a little more innovative. You know what I'm saying? They're always doing some... I went yesterday, I have a triple lupa.
What?
Triple lupa.
Shit.
Yeah, it's 3 chalupas fucking human centipeded together.
Really?
I couldn't believe it.
What the fuck?
I was driving by and I'm like, triple lupa. I was like, I gotta go see this. I flipped a bitch, went into the parking lot, no intention of buying, just to see.
Yeah.
And when I saw what it was, no, I didn't buy one.
Oh, okay.
When I saw one, I was like... Taco Bell's done some ridiculous shit. This is the most ridiculous I've seen.
Yeah, it's like when motherfuckers like they roll joints, like 3
extendo,
joints.
It was an extendo chalupa, bro. It's a triple lupa.
Oh, it's extendo.
I told my girl, I'm like, they came up with a name first, and then they're like, okay, we gotta make something that they're like, someone was like triple lupa, and they're like, that's fire. Now, how can we make this triple lupa?
Bring this to life. Yeah,
and it was terrible. Whoever should be fired for that. It was an absolutely terrible idea.
I low key want to get one.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's like one of those things where it's like so terrible that you gotta see for yourself. Yeah. Like that's how I feel like the donut chicken sandwich is from KFC.
Yeah.
But I haven't tried it yet though.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
Motherfuckers are obsessed with donuts.
Yeah. Like in theory, I was like, I gotta try that, and then every time it's time to eat, I'm like, I don't want that shit. You know, like
I can't think of a time that I'll ever want that.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Is that breakfast? Is it lunch?
You know, I saw it and it was like, okay, I gotta try that.
Yeah.
And then I've driven by KFC at least 5-6 times. And I'm like, I don't want that shit. Like I want to eat real food right now. You know, like not a donut and chicken.
That's some shit. That's a weird thing.
You gotta be at the fair or some shit. You know,
you
gotta be in that fucking. You know, it's not dinner. Fucking. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, you gotta be like not hungry.
Yeah.
But then if you're not hungry, why would you eat it?
Yeah. It'll be like really high.
Yeah.
Right. Really high. Maybe like, I want something sweet, but I want something savory.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
You don't get high at all?
Not with marijuana, no.
Yeah? No, not like when's the last time?
Actually, well, that's a funny story. I did Exer does his rip, dip, and dive thing, right? And so I did that last weekend.
Terrible.
It was terrifying.
This is the thing. So when I was here the other day, he asked me to do that, and I said yes, right? But in my mind, I was just, no. We haven't done it yet. But in my mind, I was like, I don't drink that much, and I haven't smoked today. I didn't smoke because I was coming to do this with you,
right?
Because I was just like, it makes me, it makes me weird sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me weird when I'm at home playing video games. You know, it makes me weird when like I have to deal with people and talk and do shit. You know, So I tend to like not smoke when I have to do interviews, and extras like, well, I want you to take a bong rip and then you take a shot and drink a beer, and I'm like, why do you want to see me like that? It's not, I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna be fucking,
it's gonna suck,
a hermit. You know, like I turn into a fucking, I had a buddy and he was like, I'm doing this thing. There's a couple years ago. He's actually like one of my best friends now. But when we first met, he was like, I'm doing this thing, and it's like, you're going to come in and you're going to get high, and then you're going to talk to me about your favorite foods and shit.
Yeah.
Right? And so I went and got high, and then I sat on the couch and I was like, oh shit, there's a fucking camera on me.
Yeah.
This fool's filming me. Like, okay, I want to be funny. How could it be funny? Like, this fool wants me to be funny. You know, like I'm just tripping. I'm freaking out. You know?
You're talking to the right dude,
bro.
I'm
like, I could have acted like a better stoner than I was when I was in actual.
That's what I should have told him.
You want this to be good, or do you want me to really be stoned? You know, because they're not going to be both. It's not going to be both. Like one or the other.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I did it, and I could just see Exer I could just, I could see him being like, oh yeah, this isn't that good. I'm like, bro, I told you this shit's gonna suck.
Exactly how I felt
told you
with my boy. I remember being there, and then it's even worse because it's like I'm failing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh my god,
this is not what he wants,
bro. I hadn't ingested any weed for like 2.5 years,
and then
I was just like, fuck it for the culture. Let's do it, because I could drink all day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That had nothing to do with it.
No problem. And then I just feel myself like getting immediately more stoned, and like I'm just real quick with the answers. You know what I mean? Just like,
and you kind of, and then for me, like once I realize I'm getting stoned, it's like I scare myself, and then I'm just like, I'm stoned, like I'm faded right now, like I'm gonna look fucking yeah. I was stuck. I had to sit. I literally sat on those stairs because you had like 3 more to do. I went first because I knew I needed some time before I could drive home. I sat on those stairs and I was watching them, and I went through all the cycles like, this is terrifying. I remember this place. Why did I come back here? You know what I mean? And then I'm watching them do their thing, and I'm laughing way more than I probably should be. You know, because I'm like, laugh. You're supposed to laugh now. If you don't laugh, they'll look at you and they'll know you're stoned. Yeah, you know. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, fuck. I've probably been sitting here for 45 minutes, and I looked, and it was like 5 minutes, right? Yeah. Like classic stoner shit. And I'm like, okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're going to get up. Like, fuck, I shouldn't have sat halfway up the stairs, because now if I get up and I fall, it's way further down than if I just sat on the first stair. This is what you're going to do. You're going to get up. Before you even stand up, you're going to put your hand on the rail, right? You're going to turn around one foot in front of the other, and you can go upstairs, right? Oh, my God. It's funny because that's how I get when I get drunk, because I don't really drink. Like, I was at a hotel a couple weeks ago, and it was me and my girlfriend and another buddy of mine. Yeah. And maybe like 9 p.m., I went to the front to get a water, and I talked to the guy, hey, what's up, whatever. And then by 11, I was shit-faced. Yeah. And I remember, and we went outside to smoke weed, and we're coming back in, and I remember like, okay, left foot, right foot, left, you know? And I remember thinking like, the dude working there was probably like, what the fuck? Like, I just saw you. Like, we were just talking. Yeah. And now like, you can't even fucking walk, you know? Yeah. So I get that. Yeah, I don't drink much. And when I do, like I'm like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there are people that do both, but I think there's a lot of people that kind of like, they don't do both. You know, if I smoke, then I smoke. If I drink, I drink.
Yeah. And then there's people who don't do anything. And I'm always like, so you don't
have fun?
Like, like, what do you do? Yeah. Like, you don't drink like anything?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I feel like my girlfriend's sisters, well, her sister and they're both pastors. Yeah. So they don't do anything. Right. And I'm just like, how? Yeah. How? But which is kind of a fucked up way to think, you know?
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, it is.
I'm the broken one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not delusional about that. Yeah, I'm definitely the broken one.
But it is. It's like, wow, how do you do that?
Yeah. Let's see. Where are we at? Fresh Prince or Martin?
That's tough. Like, because as a kid it was Fresh Prince. Yeah. But then when I got older, I think Martin. I think Martin's more for adults. Okay. And I think Fresh Prince is a little bit more for kids.
Yeah, I haven't even seen Martin as an adult. That's why I always go Fresh Prince. Him
bagging on what's Gina's friend? Pam.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's name. What's that girl's name? What is it? Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
All right. So Martin. Something you'd like to try but haven't yet. Anything.
Like doing?
Yeah, anything. Could be art form, something crazy, a food, travel, like whatever.
I feel like I'm like I feel like I would want to skydive, but like I also feel terrified.
Someone else said skydive. Yeah,
I feel like that feeling is something that you can't feel elsewhere. Right. I feel like it's a unique feeling.
That's a really good point.
I'd be interested in.
It's really hard to simulate falling out of a fucking plane.
But also it's fucking terrifying when I think about it right now.
Probably hard to simulate that fear.
Yeah. But I think once you touch down, I think you'll be like, whoa, that was unlike anything ever.
The world. Yeah. And you wake up, fuck, I still got to go to work.
Once you go jump out of the plane again.
Yeah, that'll be my job. All right. Would you rather live for one more year or for the next 500 years?
I think by myself.
Well,
I mean, if I gotta go 500 by myself,
everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with the year.
That's where I'm at.
I don't think I could watch everyone die.
You can learn a lot about someone based on that question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, dude, 500 years. I'd gladly live forever." I'm like, you realize everyone you care about, they're gonna die.
I don't think
How many fucking funerals are gonna happen between now and then?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and then like repeated.
Yeah,
it's like, well, everyone I know died, so now I have
Start
a whole
over.
bunch of new friends, and then they're all gonna fucking die too. You know?
I'm good, bro.
Nah, yeah,
I'm
1 year.
Good. Yep.
One
all
more
right.
year, make the most of it.
Cool. Last one. Top 5 favorite rappers. Favorite, not best. Favorite.
Kendrick, Grouch, Biggie. Oh man, see, like I would always put Eminem in there, and it's so hard, but I will still because his first album really fucking impacted my listening to music in general.
Yeah. And Paul Wall.
Just kidding. South by Southwest. I don't know, man. Fifth is hard because like there's a lot of classics, but then I'm also like I'm a big Drake fan. You know, I really like so.
I'm not mad at that answer at all.
Fifth, I'll go with Drake. I mean, if
that.
I got Drake and I got the Grouch on there, like there's not really much you can tell me. You know, you can't tell me that.
It balances itself out. Yeah,
I don't think many people are gonna have the Grouch in there, but that fool is just the way he says what he says and his style and approach is like one of my favorites in this shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, dope. Well, I appreciate you doing this,
sir.
man. For real. You're like one of my genuine friends. So it's been fun knowing you as long as I've known you. So
likewise. I was excited for this.
Dope, bro. Come back on.
I will definitely.
Do me a favor. Can you say the devil is a motherfucking lie?
The devil is a motherfucking lie.
Hell yeah. Thank you again, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with a friend or 6 if you think they'll enjoy it as well. You can find this podcast on all major platforms. That's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music, Spotify. You know how this works. So go ahead and find it on your preferred platform. Subscribe, share, leave a 5-star rating, all the podcast things, and do so knowing that it is very much appreciated. This podcast is filmed and recorded at Playmaker Studio right here in Los Angeles, California. You can find more at onthewaydown.net and follow this podcast on Instagram at OTWD Podcast. Thank you to Illuminidal, and thank you for watching. The devil is a motherfucking lie.